What's up, guys? Man, we're back here with the number one indoor football show in the country. Sorry for the for starting late. I had to get Cody out of bed. So, but no, I'm in for Shady today. He's down in Rochester, New York, for the pro level sports combine. So, it's a big opportunity for him and our network, trying to, expand coverage of different events. But I wanted to start with, we got a lot of content for you guys today. Really excited. I got my Louis luggage. So we'll start with Cody, though. So, Cody, last week we went to Iowa versus Quad City. The week before, you went to Dodge City to watch Southwest Kansas play Omaha. And then the week before that, you went to Quad City, Green Bay. So you've been around the block a little bit. Talk to me about your experiences and kind of which game you had the most fun at, you would say.
No, you're good. You got them switched around. The first one was Quad City and Iowa, and then the third one was Iowa Green Bay, which that last weekend was actually really fun. Never been I was born in Des Moines, but I've never been to their arena before. So actually going to Des Moines to see how that all went, it was really fun. I mean, met up with BJ Steffen, who does the, I think, Cold Front podcast with the Green Bay Blizzard. He had his own Green Bay Blizzard fan cast and all that stuff. So it was nice to link up with him. And I think Logan was the other name. He's on Instagram. I can't remember. So shout out to you. I'm sorry, man, if I forgot your name. But yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of networking and stuff out there. Some really good seats as well. I have photos on my Instagram. I have photos on my Twitter. Shout out to Fan Cave for all of that stuff too. And ultimately, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of being around the Great Plains and the Midwest and everything, going from Dodge City up to Iowa, and before that, going to see family in the Quad Cities and letting them experience the whole indoor game as well. So it's a lot of fun. I've already got hotels and stuff like that booked in May for Tulsa, which, again, they're playing Green Bay too. So all these Eastern Conference teams just battling each other. So it's fun. We're getting out and about and watching a lot of indoor football live.
Most definitely. I want to see this comment right here. I don't have a lot to talk about, but Casanova is not starting for Houston. It's former Mass Pirate, Talia Tagovailoa. So it's just another example of, why our player development program is top tier in the country. But Cody, I want to start. TJ, I'll go to you. I know you're a big A1 guy. Casanova leaving Albany and going to UFL, like how big is that of a loss for Albany, and how big of it is it for the sport? Castanova's been dominating this for years and years at this point. So,
I mean, Albany is still Albany for the most part. They have they're hoping for some Colcomania too, I guess, now in Albany, but I think they're still definitely a higher up team in terms of rankings. I still see them winning, majority of their games, just because they are, just a really good all around team. They take the time to scout. We know they, spend some money to put on a good product. So I think they'll still be one of the better teams. They may not be perfect or near perfect like they were last year and could have been with Castronova, but I think they're still going to be a top notch team, and defending champs they're going to represent. In terms of him leaving for the UFL, I think it's awesome for the AF1, really for the sport as a whole, since Castronova's bounced around. He's been given shots before, but here he is being given another look and another chance. So that's awesome for him. For Albany, yeah, he's the face, but I don't really know if he was necessarily the face of the league per se. It's not like, the outdoor game where, it's like when Peyton Manning was playing, it was Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and stuff like that. Definitely one of the more popular players, but I don't think it's too much. But definitely in Albany, yeah, they're probably gonna miss him, especially today and maybe next week as well. But they'll get used to it, and I'm sure they'll keep winning.
Yeah, what about you, Cody?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's overdue, but I think all of us here, even the people in the chat, can probably allude to it too. Like, Castronova deserves and has had shots to go outdoors. Why he hasn't landed, I'm not necessarily sure, because I think he's got the skill set. I think he's got the talent to compete out there. But whether or not it's just he's not getting a fair shake, I don't know. To kind of TJ's credit, and it's something that I've talked about quite a bit, and it's like, who who is the face of the indoor game? Who's the face of the arena game? Things like that. Castronova can definitely be one of them. But long are the days of obviously Kurt Warner or Aaron Garcia or anyone like that, Cedric Bonner. I mean, you can name names and stuff like that, but we don't really have a face of indoor or arena football. Castronova is probably the closest you can have to that at this point in the time. So it's like, well, it sucks to see him go. Seeing him go and have better opportunities, that's all people want in this game. Yeah, they want to play indoors, but at the end of the day, all these guys want a chance at the NFL. All these guys want a chance at the UFL or CFL or a chance to better their lives. So I don't knock the guy at all for it.
I agree with that. Casanova, he came in to San Antonio, 98 touchdowns, dominated the league, offensive player of the year. Goes to Albany, wins the championship. Goes to Jacksonville, wins the championship. So, what he's accomplished in this game, for me, he's set the standard, for players across the country. Like, this is what you need to do, if you're a quarterback coming from a small school to move up to a higher level. I guess my question for you before we kind of talk about Albany's quarterback situation, what quarterback do you see moving up from any of the leagues next? Now Castanova moves up. Who's up next, in your opinion? We'll start with you, TJ.
I would say, well, the other quarterback who's in the championship, Tyler Kolka.
What about you, Cody?
I know I said it in the chat the other day, but I can't remember who I said. Because I know I said Castronova, but I mean, honestly, if you do anything, I don't necessarily think it's going to be anyone from the indoor football league. I know you mentioned Jaden DeLora, but I'm not sure if his size will get him there. I don't think a lot of the dual threat guys in the indoor football league would translate too well necessarily. You need a guy with a quick release and stuff like that. Potentially a guy from like Colorado who's been in the NFL before, like a Paxton Lynch style guy. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. It's tough, man, because sometimes the indoor game doesn't translate to outdoor and vice versa. So you really need a special skill set. And we've seen that obviously in years past, but I don't really know if there is a guy that, like, I don't know if there's a guy right now that can translate besides Sam Castronova. Could be easily proven wrong, but they deserve that chance too.
I agree. For me, I would say, I'm high on DeLora, right? I think he's, his mechanics and just the way he moves in the pocket, it translates the best to outdoors. I respect Max Miler. He won MVP last year. I don't think he could do it outdoors. I don't. I just think the release, everything, I don't think he would be able to translate outdoors. Tyler Coker, I know you mentioned him. The reality is he had one good season, with Nashville. He needs to come back this year and prove that he can really, make that jump. And in a new offensive system, I think that's kind of dicey, in my opinion. So I think DeLora, by far, and his D1, what he did in Division I, 9,000 passing yards, for me, it takes the cake. But I see what you're saying with, a guy like Paxton Lynch. But do you think age, before we bring on our guest here, do you think age plays a factor in that at this point or no?
Yeah, for sure. Age definitely plays a factor, especially in like the skill positions and stuff like that. Do you want a kid coming out of college, even if he's like a 7th, 8th round pick, 8th round not even being there because there's 7 rounds in the draft, but like undrafted free agent or whatever the case could be. Do you want someone like that who's 22 years old that you might be able to, mold into what you want? Or do you want a guy who's played in the indoor game? He's 27, 28. He's been around, but at the same time, does he have that speed? Does he have that burst? Only playing the 50-yard game, again, is completely different. The timing could be completely off in the outdoor game with a bigger field. So if I'm a coach or a GM in the outdoor game, I'm looking at that 22-year-old that might be undrafted and going, we might get that diamond in the rough compared to someone who, unfortunately, is like, all right, well, never say never, because obviously you see players like TJ Davis going from Green Bay up to the CFL. So again, it can work, it translates, but at the same time, very few and far between. There's plenty of guys that have gone, but plenty of others that haven't.
For sure. So we're gonna hit a commercial. We'll bring on our first guest here.
Omaha Beef football, pride, dance dancers, rump roasters, slaughterhouse, are you ready? DJ next one. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the slaughterhouse where we run it. Yeah, we really want it. Beef Nation got 'em shaking. Got a ring and we flown it. Prime chances be on it. I bet the competition's no opposition. We come to take and we done it. Ricky is the chief saying, let's go beef. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the slaughterhouse. Orange and black. About to win this. Defense stays on attack. You on a hit list. Spiking, blocking, and dumping, jumping out the gymnasium. You want to see the best? Meet us at the Beef Stadium. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Let's go, Beef. Orange Kingdom. Slaughterhouse. Orange Kingdom. Prime dancers. Orange Kingdom. Let's roll, baby.
Yeah, so we're happy to be joined by Alex Caldwell. You know, he's a player for the CNY Blue Devils. Alex, how you doing this morning, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good to meet you. So I guess my question for you, you know, CNY, you know, y'all joined the AIF to finish out the season. How much does it mean to you to be a pro football player?
It means a lot, man. It's something I worked for really hard, something I always dreamed about.
For sure. TJ, what do you got?
You know, when you talk about your football journey, what initially got you into football? You know, was it a game that you watched or a specific player? You know, what made you fall in love with the game?
Honestly, I played basketball my whole life, and my dad just always kind of, stayed on me, trying to get me to do it, tried to get me to do it. I wouldn't really do it when I was younger. But then, as I got older, time went on. He ended up going on as well, and I think that had a lot to do with it. I just decided to pick it up my junior and senior year, and I just never put it down after that.
What about you, Cody?
What's up, Alex? How is it going?
It's going good, man.
Cool. What brought you to the CNY Blue Devils? Like, again, a lot of people in this realm don't really, I mean, we all know indoor and arena football because we talk it, but what brought you to it? Did someone reach out? Did you look it up? How did you find them, or how did they find you?
I'm honestly gonna have to give a shout out to Coach AJ because whenever I signed to go play with the Axolotls, he signed to play there as well. And when all that stuff didn't turn out going that well, he ended up reaching out to me when he made the CNY Blue Devils and offered me a spot on the team. And I had to take it,
For sure.
Pass that stuff up.
And then, you know, you talk about your journey, right? Like everything you've been through. What's the most important lesson you would say you learned throughout this whole time?
I'd say that you just can't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do, no matter what. Honestly, like I've had a lot of people throughout my whole life just tell me, it's not going to work out. It's not going to happen. You just got to keep your head down and keep doing it anyway. I feel like you're the only person that can decide like what's going to actually happen. Nobody's words really matter.
For sure. I think my final question for you would be, what do you anticipate being the most challenging thing, transitioning from semi-pro to professional football?
Just like, I think the scenery of it really, because a lot of people don't really take semi-pro serious. And then when you jump to arena ball, surprisingly, a lot of people do. Like, it's just like probably the closest thing a lot of guys are going to get to being like, in places like the NFL or CFL. Like, that's probably the closest a lot of people are going to get. And I just appreciate it, man. You know what I mean?
Cody or TJ, you got anything?
Yeah, I do want to tell the chat, for the people that don't know, Alex, are you fully diagnosed with autism? Okay, cool. So say, because that's the main reason for having you on here, is to talk about your journey, because we've seen plenty of players all throughout. I mean, I remember years ago there was a fully deaf player that played for Oklahoma State. There've been quite a few deaf players and stuff like that. So having the people here to talk about their journey, having the people here to talk about, you know, autism awareness and everything like that, and the capabilities that you were still able to play football regardless of, you know, your diagnosis and stuff like that. I know I have neurodivergent tendencies and probably on the spectrum, even though I'm not diagnosed, but I understand exactly where you're coming from when it comes to that. But tell me, what is your end goal? What do you want to get out of this? What is something that you, when you joined the Blue Devils, what did you want to do? Just prove to yourself, prove to others that you can do this? Or is it more or less just a fun activity to do on the weekends? You're muted, man. There you go. Let's say you were muted.
I just wanted to prove to myself that, you know, I can do whatever. And I wanted to prove to anyone out there who's got a disability and doesn't think they can do it, that, you know, they can. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be probably like, you know, the most, I don't know how you'd say it. Like, it's not the most normal path to take for somebody with a disability. Like, it's definitely very challenging. I'm definitely thankful I got people there who can help me figure out, you know, the contract situations and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely hard, man. Like, having a disability and trying to figure things out, like the plays and all that stuff, it's definitely a challenge.
How many games have you played so far this season?
I think I'll debut on, which game is, not this next game, but when we play Pittsburgh, that's when I'll be there.
What position do you play?
I'm a running back. Yeah, he put me in running back. I think I might play a little bit of defense.
I got you.
Being a part of the Blue Devils, moving up to the AIF now, you know, can you do you see you guys sticking in the AIF for the future, or maybe even move up to a different league, or you know, maybe AAL or NAL, something like that?
I'd love to see it, man. That'd be great. I think right now we're in a good spot. I think we got some things we got to work on, but it's in the long haul. I can tell it's going to be good, because even in team group chats every day, like, these guys are different, man. They have team prayers. They have all sorts of things, man, that I just feel like a lot of people don't do. Like, everybody in our group chat is very connected, if that makes sense. Like, everyone's there for each other. Everyone supports each other. It's just like a big family, man. So yeah, I'd love to see us go higher. But I think right now the AIF's a good spot for us to kind of, you know, develop and see where things go.
So you didn't play any college football or any sort of high school football, or you did?
Oh yeah, I played at Federal Hockey, and then I went and played hockey in college.
Okay, I got you. So I was gonna say, if there was no background, you just randomly found this team. That's the thing I was curious about. So I was just like,
Oh, no.
how did you find this team, or how did they reach out to you? So you do have a football background, not just going, hey, I want to play indoor.
Oh, yeah, I played. Okay. I just picked up my football my senior year of high school, and it went pretty well. And then I didn't really get any offers coming out of high school because my size and all sorts of things like that. But my coach that coached down at my school and ended up going to hockey college, and he gave me a spot and offered me a chance to play on the team, and I had to take it.
Okay.
But college didn't turn out that good for me, man. College football isn't for everybody. It's something I realized. Like, just the way you got to live, the things you got to do, it's way different.
Yeah. So, not having played in a game yet, have you been to any practices? Have you done anything when it comes to the CNY Blue Devils, when it comes to, like, how, I wouldn't say how involved, because obviously you're part of the team, but I guess in a sense, how involved are you as of right now before you start your debut?
I've talked to coach and a lot of my teammates, but I have not been able to come yet because I live in Ohio.
So are you going to drive all the way out there in a couple weeks to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
We have these things called out-of-state guys. We have a few of them on the team. If they can come to practice, he'd like it, but he won't make us if we can't.
I got you. Is that a rule in the AIF, or it's mainly local guys and then you have like a couple out-of-state guys? Or
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna say, because my next question was gonna be like, did you actually grow up in Central New York, or kind of going along the lines of how did you figure this out? So if you're from Ohio originally, then that's kind of crazy how you're going to go all the way up to New York for all this.
It is. I love it, man. I can't stay away from it.
No, I don't blame you, man. That's what we do all here, man. Talk indoor and arena and talk shop and everything like that. So it's a pleasure to have you on. It's really cool to find out your journey and where you've been and everything along those lines. It's really cool.
I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, appreciate your time this morning, Alex. I wish you the best of luck this season and look forward to connecting with you here soon.
Into the end zone, touchdown! Russell has to step up in the pocket, has some room in front of him, gets that three-step drop, here comes the pressure, passes complete to Flowers, back to pass, pressure coming, has somebody in the end zone, touchdown! Russell, pressure's coming, Russell able to escape, still on his feet, and will be brought down at the looking at plenty of time, has Flores at the 15, he's at the 10, and Russell has it on the outside. Like I said, he ain't taking a slide. Russell steps up, lets one go. Robinson makes the circus catch. Going to alert snap. Here comes the pressure, and the pass is going to be complete. And making the catch of Grant Russell. Russell back to pass, looking. He has Robinson makes the catch, and will be brought down on the play by Isaiah Hall.
What's good, Trey? Good to see you, man.
How we doing, boys? Great show so far. Happy to be here. I'm ready to talk some arena ball.
Appreciate it. No, so I guess the first thing I want to go to is, I saw your tweet about my beloved Orlando Pirates and our attendance for the first game of the season, man. Like, I know you obviously you're born and raised in Orlando, so you understand like the market. What do you think about the first game and the kind of the production behind it?
I think Sunday, was it 4 p.m. kickoff, 3 p.m. kickoff? That's a rough time slot for anybody, let alone the home debut. And then you throw in the fact, it's Easter Sunday. I'll give them a little grace on it, but it's going to take some time to re-earn the trust of the market after some of the stuff that's happened over the past few years and the will they, won't they that the city has experienced with the 50-yard football game. But it seems like from what you see on socials, at least with the individuals on the staff and all that, they're doing the right things to get involved with the community, especially the area directly close to the arena, which I think is often underutilized with some of the pro sports teams in Orlando. So it's slowly but surely going to get to where they want it to be. It's not going to be something where game one, it's a packed house, sold out. I don't think anybody anticipated that. They'll slowly get there.
For sure. What do you think is a reasonable benchmark, for the rest of the season? Like how many fans you would say per game?
It's tough to answer that just because that arena is just so big. Like it is such a cavernous arena, and they do block off like the top bowl. So it's really just the lower bowl, but then that lower bowl is still massive in comparison to some of the other arenas in the IFL. So I think if they can get 3,000-4,000 a game over the next, what do they got? 5 home games coming up. I think that would be a pretty good success mark, but obviously the more the merrier.
Most definitely. And so one of the questions I wanted to ask you is going into this week, what team do you believe like today is a must win for them, you would say?
Good question, Krish. I would say Quad City. Like this is a must win for them because the difference between 2-2 and 1-3 is staggering. Not just on paper, but just attitude wise, the way like confidence wise, it's just drastically different. And you look at Quad City's schedule so far, they got bullied by Fishers week 1. They beat up Iowa, which, okay, it is what it is. They narrowly lost to Orlando. So they have to start beating some of these top teams in the East at some point if they can be the contender that we think that they are and we think that they can be, and that some of us predicted them to be at the end of the season. So this is a must win. I don't know if this is a must win or a can't lose. It's somewhere in between. I'm leaning towards must win for Quad City.
What do you think about that assessment, Cody? I know you're a big Quad City fan. So.
He's not wrong. I mean, Quad City has to get off the mat. I mean, they've been shoved in a locker and swirled in the toilet, man. I mean, they've been bullied. Defense is leaving a lot to be desired, and as I've said multiple weeks and in the previews and stuff like that, they need someone else besides Daquan Neal and Kean Williams to absolutely step up. I mean, again, we've seen flashes. I'm impressed with what Jalal Dean's been able to do. You've seen flashes of Jordan Vesey. I don't know if he's nursing something. He did get shaken up in the Orlando game. Jared Ware's had flashes every now and again, but you need someone to be consistent on offense besides Williams and Neal. You kind of go back to the EJ Hilliard days where he's playing hero ball and doing everything himself. You can't have Daquan Neal doing that. Not to say he's not capable, but you need someone else to step up. Another thing I noticed last week is they did not bring Malik Duncan to Orlando. So I don't know if he's going to be playing against Green Bay or not, but they went with, I think it was Harris, Cameron Harrell, Caleb Coleman, Jamon Williams, and I'm blanking on the other one. But I don't think Malik Duncan made the trip. So we'll see if that is something that they're addressing too. Not to call the guy out or anything like that, but the secondary is in flux. A lot of fans are mad at the linebacker, Alex Harriott. There's some pass rush, but not enough. I mean, the defense just isn't getting the job done, and they're letting up 40-plus points. So what can you do? It's definitely a game where they need to stop a team, which what Fishers did to them might be what Green Bay did to them. We'll see what goes on.
Yeah, for Harriet, it's a tough draw following in the shoes of Bubba Arslanian, who was absolutely incredible last season.
Oh yeah.
So he was all over the field on the pass rush. He would drop back in coverage. He would lay the lumber on some folks in the passing game as well. So it's a tough draw following that. But yeah, that's definitely an area where the absence is missed for QC.
Yeah.
Wanted to go over some transactions with you guys. There was a lot of good moves this week. So Andre Williams, he returned from Minnesota. He's coming back to Iowa. I thought that was a big move. Yurt Jones returns to Tulsa, so they get a boost on that D-line. And those were the main ones. Another one, Matt Elam, he's out for the season for San Antonio. So they lose that vet, piece in the secondary. Trey, I know, you have a lot of opinions on San Antonio, reading your stuff. What do you think about San Antonio as a team? What do you think they need to do offensively to kind of get back on the map?
Well, starting Joaquin Collazo is a good start. Like that, get him a full 4 quarters, because that offense was night and day different with him at the helm versus Peyton in the first quarter and a half. So getting him in there for 4 quarters, great place to start. But it just seems like they don't know what their identity is. They don't know who they are. And to me, that was to be expected. First-year head coach, new system in place with Coach Bain there, and so it seems like a lot of their games are going to be those, drag you into the mud and duke it out type of games that we saw in week 1 last week. We saw in the first couple weeks of last season as well, where it took some time for this offense to get into a rhythm and to figure out who they are. And it seems like another situation there this year where Collazo's got to be the guy moving forward, but who else around him is going to step up? Because you don't have Nyquan Murray to lean on anymore. So who's going to be that guy?
I wanted to kind of share this exciting news. I know TJ is a big Vegas fan. He finally got his merchandise the other day, so we don't have to hear about that anymore. It's exciting.
Let's go. Monday finally came.
I know. It's crazy. And so another surprise for Vegas. Unfortunately, they signed a really good defensive lineman. This is Aaron Famu. He's from UVA. This one got me fucked up a little bit because, I saw that he follows the Orlando Pirates on Instagram. So, he was supposed to come to Orlando, but he decided to go to Vegas instead. But this is a big move for them. he was one of the top the interior defensive linemen in the ACC in 2023. So they boost up that D-line. Trey, I know you saw that D-line in person against Tucson. Are they the real deal? Are they legit, you would say?
Yeah, they looked awesome. They were tearing up that Sugar Skulls O-line, and the fact that they're just getting more depth, it's like, all right, here we go. They're doing it again.
Yeah, I think Coach Davis, he's a pretty good scout. I think he can find a good piece or two from time to time. So, but it's that was crazy. But I think, TJ, for you, like when you look at that Vegas defense overall, like how do you feel about the defense? I know you were kind of scared after week 1, but how do you feel now going into week 3 or week 4 per se?
I was never really scared about the defense. I mean, week 1 against Green Bay, that was really about inability or mistakes made by the offense that put the team in a bad spot, in my opinion. But the fact that they keep adding to depth, everything else. I mean, they were one of the better defenses last year. At times, they let up a lot of points. I mean, obviously, look at the championship game, but this season, I'm feeling like they're better than they were last year, which is crazy considering, again, they are the defending champs. So, where some of my woes are in the NAL, I'm the complete opposite in the IFL, I guess you can say, as a fan.
And then I know you saw Tucson too. Obviously, you went down there. For you, Trey, like, you look at the Sugar Skulls from week 1 to week 2. Where do you think they kind of improved the most, you would say?
It seemed like at quarterback, Draylon Ellis calmed down a little bit. Like, it's still going to take a lot of time for him to get really, really comfortable in this game. But I had a chance to speak with him after the game, and he was like, man, practicing is one thing, but seeing it in action and seeing it happen, it's just a totally different feel. So I think we still got to give him some grace and adjusting to this game. But I think he's going to be a really, really good quarterback in this league as the season progresses and in the future, if we're able to see more of him in years ahead. But yeah, I think at the quarterback spot, that was the biggest question mark for me heading into the season for Tucson. How much production would they get out of that? Because they have an underrated skills position group, in my opinion. So if they can get a guy that can get the ball out to those players, look out. And I think this Tucson team can be a dangerous one down the road as Ellis gets comfortable.
I wanted to do our betting picks. I know you have your article coming out, so I want you to go first, Trey. Take us through, give us a breakdown game by game. So we'll start with Northern Arizona at New Mexico.
Are we doing like a round table? We'll all talk about Northern Arizona, New Mexico? Or how you want to do that?
You can go through all of them, and then we'll kind of
go through all of them. All right. Yeah. Well, Northern Arizona, New Mexico, this was the toughest game of the week for me because transparently both teams are struggling, and I don't really know how to read them at this point. Where Northern Arizona, it looks like on offense they were playing for the very first time, and when they played against Jacksonville, and they were just so disjointed. But then New Mexico, they have some serious depth issues where they had one injury on their offensive line that threw off everything for multiple position groups because they had to shift some folks over from D-line to O-line. So to me, it's going to be an ugly one. It might be one of those San Antonio-esque games where they get dragged into the mud and it turns into a fist fight. So I'm going with the under 83.5 on this one until these offenses can prove that they can put up points in bunches consistently. Because New Mexico, they've done a decent job of staying in games over their first 2 games, but a lot of that stuff was wizardry from the chemist Jerome Johnson, and you can only ask him to do so much before other people got to step up. So I'm going with the under here. I think this is going to be an ugly one. I guess I'll go to the next one. Iowa Barnstormers at the Fishers Freight. 16.5 is a massive number. Like, that is a scary big number. I think it's one of the biggest numbers we've seen spread-wise in the IFL over the past couple of seasons. I think Alex Schubert from Sports Coast to Coast, he mentioned that I think last year we had a 17.5, which might be the only one that was a little bit bigger. So that number scares me. I think this Iowa team is trending in the right direction, and it feels like the total number and the spread number is an overcorrection by the books based on how Fishers just absolutely smacked Arizona last week. So I think Fishers is the real deal. They are that good, but I just can't see them doing that again. Like 2 A+ perfect games. I don't know. Like it feels like Fishers can pull up their end of the 91. Not sure if Iowa's there yet. So I think this is going to be another under game that isn't exciting to pick, but based on just reading the tea leaves here, I think that's the game we're going to end up getting. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll just mow through all these then. Green Bay at Quad City. So this is another interesting one. Earlier I said this is a somewhere between a can't lose and a must win for Quad City. And to me, I'm going with Quad City money line on this one because this is one where if Quad City loses this game, they are in trouble. Like this season is going to be the rest of the way is going to be a rough one. So it feels like this is a must win for them. And they're a drastically different team over the past couple of seasons at home versus on the road. At home since 2023, they're 18-6. On the road since 2023, they're 11-15. So there's just something about the mark where they just play better and rise up to the occasion. So I'll go Quad City money line there. San Antonio versus Arizona. This is a terrible spot for San Antonio going into the snake pit with a pissed off Kevin Guy. Not good. Just not good based off of how last week went for the Rattlers. So whatever number was given for Arizona, I was going to take it. So that number happened to be 7.5. So I'm taking Arizona minus 7.5. San Diego versus.
Don't worry, I'm his anger management coach, so I've got him corralled.
Good, reel them in for us. Reel them in. Not too much though, because we need some points.
Yeah, we still need him pissed off, but not too much.
Yeah, not too much.
Not firing the clock operator pissed off yet. So
yeah, not firing the whole damn operation. San Diego versus Tucson. I'm surprised this was a pick 'em. I thought San Diego was going to be favored just a little bit due to the depth and talent of the roster. So due to that, I feel like I got to go San Diego money line here. It just feels like this offense is due for a wake up game and a get right game, and this seems like the perfect spot for them. Tulsa versus Orlando. Krish just happened to come on camera for this one. Love the timing. So I have a rule with indoor football picks. A couple rules that I follow, and one of them is if you give TJ Edwards plus points, I'm going to take TJ Edwards plus points. So TJ Edwards is making his return against the Pirates, where last year we had the injury that happened against the Pirates, so there's going to be an emotional one. This Tulsa Oilers defense has been playing really well, but so has this almost called a mascot. So has this Orlando Pirates defense. So it seems like the Pirates at the quarterback spot have been slow to get started these first couple of games, but once they get going, they get going. But this Tulsa defense, I like what they're doing. They're heavy hitting. They've been playing really well, even though it is only one game, but historically over the past few seasons, they've been playing really, really well. And this Tulsa Oilers offense, they were able to move the ball down the field. And I think the scoreboard doesn't really reflect how impactful this offense was week one against San Antonio. They were just having trouble punching it in from those last 5 to 10 yards of the field. So if you go back and watch that game, they were getting 10, 15, 20 yards in chunks. They just couldn't finish. So I just can't see a world where that happens again to a TJ Edwards-led offense. So Krish, cover your ears. I think Tulsa wins this game in Orlando and gives Orlando their first loss of the season. And last but not least, I think the game of the week is going to be the Jacksonville Sharks at the Vegas Nighthawks. This is going to be a very fun one. Jacksonville's offense looked incredible, but then Vegas's offense looked immaculate, scoring 1 touchdown every 3 plays against Tucson the last time they were out. That's a pretty good ratio. So I think we're getting lots and lots of points, and I would not be surprised to see this one go over the 100-point mark. So give me the over 86.5.
We are going to return to our picks after we have our special guest on. Really excited for this one. So, but I do want to say I love how you mentioned that TJ got hurt against us last year. It's going to be really emotional. It will be. But his offensive lineman got him hurt. So let's just clarify.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think the slander that the Pirates were dirty is wrong. I agree, yeah. But the fact was he was in the Pirates arena when he got hurt. So that's it.
Well, Pirates are dirty because they spend their entire time on a boat.
That's true. Good point, Cody. Good point.
I say we're the cleanest team in the league, but
okay, calm down. Calm down.
Also, did
Hey,
you know?
we don't have a single after the play penalty so far through 2 games. So
Did you notice how Chris said we're gonna have a special guest on? Like you weren't already the special guest.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? I'm chopped liver over here. All right, cool,
Yeah.
Chris.
I got to get my luggage right, Trey. I'm sorry. But, nah, we'll go a quick commercial. We'll have our guest on and talk about the new Tucson they got down there with my boy Coach Kaiser. So I'm excited about that.
Grant Russell into the end zone, touchdown! Russell has to step up in the pocket, has some room in front of him, gets 3-step drop, here comes the pressure, passes complete to Flowers, back to pass, Russell coming, has somebody in the end zone, touchdown! Russell, pressure's coming, Russell able to escape, still on his feet, and will be brought down at the looking at plenty of time, has Flores at the 15, he's at the 10, and Russell has it on the outside, like I said, he ain't taking a slide, Russell steps up, let's one go, Robinson makes the circus catch. Going to be a low snap, here comes the pressure, and the pass is going to be complete, and making the catch of Grant Russell. Russell, back to pass, looking, he has Robinson makes the catch, and will be brought down on the play by Isaiah Hall.
We are pleased to be joined by the co-owner for the Tucson Sugar Skull, Mr. Edmund Marquez. How you doing this morning, sir?
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Great to see you guys. It's 6 a.m. over here, so a lot of love to you guys early in the morning.
Thank you for coming on. So, my first question for you, during the introduction press conference, you mentioned the term, NFL level front office. Like you want to aim for the moon, and I really was impressed by that. What does that mean to you, NFL level front office?
We have high standards. We have an opportunity here with the IFL to continue to raise the bar. We're going to help do that in Tucson. I'm all business. Like I literally love the front office more than the sport and watching the sport. I love the front office and the competitiveness of it. I've owned multiple businesses. I think a widget is a widget. So it's great to get in here and get my hands on a football team. It is exciting. It's different to have. I mean, my internet's down at my home, so I drove to my office. Like out that door, typically is a bustling Allstate agency that I've run for 30 years. And you have clients, and at IFL you have fans, and you have passionate people that paint their faces, show up with cowbells, and have a blast at these games. And it's just it's fun as you've watched whether NFL or in any other sport, and you get to see these owners shape these teams and build these teams in a community that they love. That's what we're doing. So I've raised the bar here with the front office. We have top-notch staff. And we're gonna run this, and we're gonna keep those NFL standards in our mind as we run an IFL team. And it's a mini model. It's like a mini model of an NFL team. We don't have all the I'll say income attributes that the NFL does, but the IFL is headed in the right direction, and we're gonna run a top-notch office so that we can run a high-quality program. I know Trey was out at our last game, and I'm sure you can see some differences in things that we're doing, and it's exciting. I'm enjoying it.
Most definitely. And I think, another question I have, Coach Kaiser, he set the bar high. He said he wanted to dominate the league and win a championship this year, which I know Coach Kaiser, man, he's always going to, hype the team up. And I'm glad that he has that energy. After game 1 against Vegas, it was difficult. How did you set the tone as an owner going in the locker room after the game and kind of motivate the guys to play week 2?
And I don't know if Trey saw it, but I hugged every single one of my players as they came off the field, and I said, we're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. I don't even know if we could have gotten around this, but we made a mistake the first game, and we shared the Tucson arena with a hockey team, and they had the hockey arena the night before. We didn't get any turf time prior to the game, 0. So I had 11 rookies play in our game, and they had never stood on turf and played with walls. And we, frankly, Vegas came out and punched us in the face the first half as we were. If you saw the first kickoff, we had 4 guys fall down on the kickoff, just running on turf for the first time. And we did. We got punched in the face the first half. Good for Mike Davis. He pounced on us. Second half, you started to see momentum. Obviously, you see us play out that momentum as we played New Mexico. New Mexico is a super exciting game. My gosh, that was fun. Literally, my stomach was shaking during that game. I wanted to win so bad. But we had to do a better job of getting our guys on the turf prior to the game because it definitely affected us. But mentality-wise, we're good. We're winners. We have the mentality of winning. We have high expectations. I'm glad Coach Kaiser talked about championship first game. Imagine if he came out and said, let's go get us 5 wins, guys. We can do it. Hell no. Like, you got to talk championship the whole time. It's got to be a championship mentality. The perspective is, and you've heard the saying before, if you aim for the moon and you miss, at least you landed among the stars, right? So we're going to continue to talk championship every freaking week.
I love that energy. And, one more question before I turn it over to my boy Trey. I look at this team and I look at what you're doing. You mentioned on another interview about the model of private equity, investing in the IFL. How do you expect that to influence the league within the next 5 years, you would say?
It's coming. It's coming. I mean, we just got to continue to show our value. I listened to one of Cody's last recording. Great to finally meet you, Cody. I watch all your stuff. You do a great job. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for loving the IFL so much and putting so much effort into it. But TV wise, like Cody was talking about whether or not we're doing the replays and things on the IFL channel and some of the things we're doing on TV, there's some heavy lifting. And I think you got to keep in mind when you think of the IFL, we're taking a huge gamble this season financially as we all invest in national TV. You also have a small office in Idaho. I mean, we're not the NFL. It's just Todd and a handful of people up in Idaho that are running the IFL. Private equity will come to play. So when we bought the team, I have connections with the Texas Rangers baseball team. They have an offshoot that invests in real estate development, and they also invest in sports. And they're buying a ton of ECHL teams. They're trying to buy EHL, AHL hockey teams. And I mentioned to them, hey, why don't you look at the IFL? And unfortunately, they weren't impressed years ago when they came in and they looked at the IFL model and maybe how we structured things. But as we get our act together, and I think as you have myself and other new owners and new people that belong to the teams in these boardroom meetings with the IFL, and we continue to shape this business and make us more profitable and more attractive, you will have private equity come in and just start buying teams as part of their portfolio. Even if you look at my ownership group, which is myself and 12 other really big dog CEOs in our community that love our community, it's kind of like private equity. I mean, I'm president of the team running day to day, but they're all invested and they're looking for that return on investment. And the return on investment, we have to find this model of profitability in the IFL, which is not an easy model, right? It's you got to sell sponsorships, you got to have season tickets, you got to make some money on merch. What's massively missing, we need TV income. We get TV income, and I know you have all these other leagues, and I don't have them memorized, IFL and the others. You will see us separate. We will truly become part of the branches, NFL, CFL, UFL, IFL. We will be closer to those other 3 branches once we figure out TV income.
Trey, I know you were down in Tucson. I'm sure you got some questions.
Yeah, of course, Evan. Nice to see you again.
Great to see you.
My question was about the Boneyard Crew and that booster club you guys have and some of the work that they do. I don't think a lot of people outside of Tucson realize some of the work that group does. So tell us a little bit about that group of super fans that love the Sugar Skulls so much.
They're freaking awesome. They're awesome. Like, I was talking to Mike, who just rebuilt New Mexico into the Chupacabras, and he did not inherit that, and I inherited that. I didn't know much about it. I just knew we had boosters. These Tucsonans are tremendous. So teams loading up on a bus to drive to New Mexico. I pull up, so I want to go give my players a hug. And there's a table out front, and the boosters are out there, and they brought breakfast burritos. They brought them snacks for the buses. They're hugging the guys. Like, they love them so much. They'll take them out bowling. They'll take them out to buffets to have dinner. They'll take them grocery shopping and say, fill a cart and I'll pay for it. Like, they just love these guys so much. And they're tremendous. I mean, we have tried to do a great job of embracing our Boneyard Crew, our boosters, because of the amount of care that they give to these guys. It is, I tell my athletes, we've done our job. If you've had a high quality experience at Tucson, you've really had great housing, great food. I mean, we have dentists, we have massage therapists, we just signed a deal with IVs to hydrate them. They have stretch zone. I mean, we're trying to give them the best quality experience. But if we can give them the best experience possible and then get them to the UFL, we have done our job. And that's what we're aiming to do. And these boosters help us do that. They absolutely embrace the guys. I just I took one of the boosters out to lunch just the other day to just try to talk about ticket sales and how do we optimize what we're doing just from her perspective, because I always want that outside perspective. And I happened to mention, I'm going to go see my guys tonight. They're going to this taco spot. And boom, it went out to the boosters and the taco, and they were at the taco spot. Like, they love these guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, Tim from the Booster Club, he sends me DMs every now and then to let me know about this or that. I'm like, man, they got a good thing going there. So, yeah, it's cool to see those super fans really rally behind the team and support them like that.
Yeah, we went to New Mexico, and New Mexico was nice enough to give us a suite, and I filled it with my boosters. And I had the best, like, if you're on my screen right now, but my screensaver is me and James Ellis, the quarterback, our quarterback's father, and then Scott and Anita Toot, who always paint their face, and they're freaking there with the cowbells. We had the greatest time watching the game together. That was a blast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, excuse me. Hey, Edmund. Nice to meet you. Nice to finally talk shop and everything like that. I've got a couple of questions for you. You were talking kind of infrastructure and stuff like that within Tucson and becoming the owner and everything, obviously. It's kind of a two-parter. What was, one, the biggest surprise to you? And then the second one, it's not necessarily like disappointment, but what's one of the first things you realize, like, we need to change this ASAP?
Wow. Biggest surprise was how busy I am. Tomorrow will be my first day off because we have a Saturday game. Tomorrow, Sunday, will be my first day off in literally like 2 months. I had worked really hard to build a nice, comfortable life. And then we go and buy a football team, and it's crazy. So the amount of busyness, it's also, we turn over every rock, and we've turned over every rock in this organization that we've purchased, and we've tried to elevate every single piece of it, like everything. Like if something just is off a little bit, we're pulling the front office team in, and we're analyzing it. How can we better that? And that's that NFL perspective. Second part question was what can we do better? What was it?
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to say like disappointment, because I don't think you were disappointed in buying a football team. But what was something like you looked at, you're like, oh, that's not how we're going to do this. And then you wanted that changed like ASAP. We're like, we're going to do this way.
Oh, there's so many of those.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm going to just say the surprising part for me is probably the lack of diversity in the income model, not to get too business-y. So it's just the lack of diversity. Like you obviously got to go sell sponsors, and you got to have a value proposition for your sponsors to actually care to buy your team, right? And a lot of that you got from us as owners. We're so invested in this community. No matter what had happened in the past or whatever happened with sponsors, whatever, they were willing to do something because of the new ownership group, because they knew us, right? We're here. I'm a great born and raised Tucson boy. Like, this is a Tucson as you get right here, a Latino dude. Like this is Tucson. I think lack of diversification in the model is you have to study your pricing of your ticket. I don't think the IFL tickets, they're not very expensive, right? And you find yourself discounting because you got to fill the seats, and then you're analyzing this TV side of the camera. And like last game was so frustrating. Trey was there, like that TV side. We hammered, and we had a 62% show rate. So you had gaps in my TV, and then the side that we didn't concentrate on, it was pretty full on the non-TV side. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? We have just shoved people. Wait till you see. Watch on. I think we're on overboard overnight.
Overnight.
I freaking get that. But watch tonight. Like we have shoved it. Let's see. The five of us will find out. Like we shoved people into that TV side. We'll see how that looks. But I think the biggest surprise has been us having to put out investment for national TV, and that's fine. I'm willing to take that gamble. I think it is the direction we got to go. If you look at WNBA, NFL, whoever, golf, Tiger's freaking golf thing, it's all TV money. And right now we're putting money into TV and we're not getting any out, that just kills you financially when you're trying to have a season. I have full access to University of Arizona football. I go to the practice the other day. I'm standing with Coach Brennan, our head coach, and I just told our athletic director this the other day. And Coach Brennan's like, so how do you see the U of A Wildcats now that you own a team? And I said, well, I used to think like we're bringing back Noah Fafita at quarterback. This is going to be a great year. I don't even think that anymore. I think, how's your TV income? Oh my God, your payroll's got to be massive. Like, where's your equipment manager? Like, this thing comes down to cash I mean, I'm so appreciative of what you guys do because you're the soul of the team. I mean, you're the soul of the league. You guys care about it. You love on it. You report on it. The whole financial model, we have to figure that out. We got to figure it out. And I'll just tell you, I'm going to recommend it to Todd, our commissioner, whether he's listening to this or not. When we bring a new team in, let's just call them a West Coast team. You need to assign them an onboarding team from the East Coast that they don't play for the first 3 years. That then can talk to them about how do you onboard a team? What's your financial statement look like? How do you sell sponsorships? How do you sell tickets? Because Mike in New Mexico and I are like brothers now because we're like, he's doing a total restart. I'm doing a rebrand. So yeah, you need some help as you come into this league. I'm not Jerry Jones.
I got that breeds two more questions. The first one that I had in my mind was one, is there a better sound than a thump thump from that blocked field goal touchdown that Tucson had last week?
I was like leaping out of the freaking suite, going crazy. I mean, we had an offensive touchdown, defensive touchdown, special teams touchdown. It was like we were redeeming ourselves. I tell you, the guys were disgusted after the Vegas game. I was just trying to hold your chin up, man. They weren't like sad. They were pissed. And that's a great trait to have after you get punched in the face in the first half. And here I got Trey in the house, and I'm thinking, let's look good. We got one of the main podcaster guys in town, and we woke up and we just got punched in the face, which is fantastic.
The final one for me here, you said, having access to the University of Tucson or University of Arizona in Tucson. How is it going to be, or how was it going up against Jayden de Laura, being obviously an Arizona alum and knowing everything that he was providing to the university and everything along those lines with the Wildcats?
I mean, it's a split bag. Like we got to beat Vegas, but at the same time, I'm a big fan of Jayden de Laura. I mean, he was a Wildcat. He wore the freaking A. Like, it's really cool. And I got to tell you, in all the marketing, as we were pushing out Sugar Skulls, I was saying we're playing the defending national champion. They got Jayden de Laura from U of A, and we used it as part of our marketing. Like, it is very strange for me I love the Sugar Skulls, which is now my favorite football team, but U of A has been my team forever. I mean, up here, there's helmets, and my son ran track at U of A. Like, I'm a U of A fan. And I will tell you, the University of Arizona has absolutely embraced the Sugar Skulls, which is awesome. I mean, they're asking how they can partner. I was at Pro Day. It was literally, you want to feel proud of the IFL. It was Tucson Sugar Skulls and the rest of the pro teams. They're all staring at my logo going, what the hell is that? And I'm literally at Pro Day and looking at the athletes. But when we look at the athletes in Pro Day, it's not for this year, right? Because every young man has the dream. They're going to the NFL, even though it's 1%. So I literally told Brennan and Danny Gonzalez, our offensive coordinator, I'm looking for next year. And plus hell, I just wanted to be in the room. I was like, who are you with? The guys like Chicago Bears. I'm like, who are you with? The Cardinals. I'm like, you guys are breaking my heart. Who are you with? Detroit Lions. So it was super cool just to be a football fan and freaking be invited to Pro Day. It was tremendous. TJ, you talk? There we go.
Getting into the sport, were you a fan of the game beforehand, or was it more of just a strictly business opportunity to own this team?
That's a great question. So I'm appointed by the Arizona State Legislature to be on a board called Rio Nuevo, and we own the Tucson Convention Center. I don't. I'm on a board that is a state board that we own the Tucson Convention Center. So when Kevin Guy got an opportunity to have a franchise team in Tucson, we were in the mix with them. We were part of that. So we had to invest in the dasher boards, and we bought the field, and we helped with some of those startup costs. And so being on the Rio Nuevo board and being the football guy that loves football on the Rio Nuevo board, and most of the Rio Nuevo board members are older than me, I was the guy going to the games, and we had a suite. And so I'd invite my business buddies, our wives, and we'd go to the suite and we'd watch the Sugar Skulls. And I kept saying, this is a tremendous product. It is so much fun to watch. It is such high energy. It's on a small field. You're playing in a hockey rink. What the hell is this? This is so much fun. I'd be leaning on the dasher board and having my nachos, and a player to come into a kickoff and eat one of my nachos. It was just crazy. I was catching a ball. Like, what the hell's going on? But there weren't enough fans. And I'm like, we lacked energy in this arena. So I kept thinking, what a great product. And then Kevin Guy and I got to know each other really well. We'd go to lunch, and I would literally pick up my phone and call companies going, you need to sponsor this team. You need to sponsor this team. And so would have that front office conversation with Kevin. We never talked really about the athletes or the offense or the defense because I'm the business guy. So I just loved the front office conversations with Kevin. And so I became a big fan of the sport itself because it was so much fun to go to. And then I just loved learning about the front office of the IFL because, again, it's a mini version of an NFL team.
You know, you touched on it a little bit ago about the popularity of the IFL and how you feel like it can be considered one of the top overall football leagues for players to play in. You know, what have you seen since joining that, you know, has kind of amplified the focus on how much the sport's kind of gaining in popularity again, like it did about 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, I think, and I've said it to Todd Tryon, IFL, it's there for the taking. To Cody's points about some of the things going on with TV, we have to get TV right. Because so if you look at the base, like if I picked up a demographic, and if you look at my demographics, older white people, typically blue collar, that's what's in my stadium, that's my boneyard. Amazing human beings, fantastic human beings. And I ask them all the time, how do I find more of you? I have to find more of you. So as we have built our ticket office, we're calling construction companies, we're calling drywall companies, we're calling concrete companies. And they're like, oh my gosh, I went to that once. Yeah, we'd love to go. And we're having to reignite that. But it is that, I mean, we have kind of a NASCAR demographic mixed with moms with kids. Like tonight at our game against San Diego, it's superhero night. So kids are going to be dressed up, kids are getting hats. So it's that mixed bag. So how do we find that pure base of the IFL? And how do we elevate the numbers in the stadiums? Because I'm watching some of the games on Yahoo, whatever, and I'm like, we got to fill these freaking stadiums. But how do we find those people? So if we do TV right, and it's exciting, and the production values there, we'll continue to find more fans, and they'll show up. Because this is one of those sports. This is interesting. Like if you go watch an NFL team, well, I mean, hell, I know the owner of the Cardinals. I could go to the Cardinal game, but I got to drive 2 hours. I got to get in traffic. You know, it's a pain in the butt. And so I watch it on TV. I get a great experience watching NFL on TV. IFL is different. IFL, you want to be in the arena. You want to be that. It's the closest you can get to professional football. You want to be in that arena. So we have an opportunity, the IFL, if we nail TV and people start getting attracted to our teams, getting to know our players and our logos is super popular. People love our logo. I have people all over the country on our website as we study the data buying our logo because they want a skull for some reason. But if we can figure out the TV, we have an opportunity to separate ourselves and become that feeder league into the UFL.
Nope. And then my last question, you know, a lot of players, obviously from the sport as a whole, do make moves. You know, obviously we just talked about Castronova earlier. You know, for the IFL, though, it seems like you guys have, as a league, you know, a direct, almost pipeline to promoting guys to the CFL. How awesome is that for not only the IFL, but really the sport to say, hey, we got players. We have great players here.
It's validation. We all have to figure it out. Like, I do not have a connection. Like, if you look at Coach Shackelford at San Diego, came from Canadian football, has a lot of Canadian football connections, can get players and move players back and forth with the CFL. I don't have that, right? So you look at Orlando. Orlando got scooped by the UFL, right? Right, Krish? Like, got scooped. And I was like, ooh. And then they go into New Mexico and barely hold on because they just got scooped right before freaking a game, which is horrible. But we have to, that's our value proposition. We have to be ready for that. We're only, a 23-man roster. So you get scooped and you're freaking out because now you got to go find players, right? And what I've learned in the IFL, it's like a fraternity. Everyone knows each other. All the players talk, but and they're like, there's this thing. Like we started late, and so Kaiser had to go build our team, and he did a fantastic job of building our team for us starting late. But if you get into the season and everyone's a fraternity and Orlando gets scooped, I mean, you're scrambling to find your players, and you better have some of that CFL, UFL connection, even if you can try to get any of the guys that don't make it. But yeah, I'm surprised how kind of insulated it is where all the players know each other and all the coaches know each other. We need to continue to welcome in more talent. That's why we're going to Pro Day, right? And then at some point, Sugar Skulls, we got to figure out a connection into the CFL, UFL. We have Kadeem Carey that played running back at U of A, went to the Bears, and is now at is it Montreal? I think Montreal. But we need to go connect with Kadeem, and we're going to. It's on our list, and we need to get that relationship so we can start getting players from the CFL. It's a natural. We all have to work together. I'm just proud to say we're even close to UFL, CFL, NFL, anything with the NFL, and we're even for a mile away. I'm pretty excited.
I wanted to ask you, you guys have a good amount of local players on the team, but you also have some star players. Tavion Thomas, someone I know really well, he was activated off short-term IR. Amazing person. Tamorian Terry, Abdul Wahid from Green Bay. Talk about your investment in going out and getting those star players.
That's all Kaiser. All Kaiser. And again, for the previous question, we talked championship level. I think Kaiser's done a fantastic job. I think I'll go back a step. So when we were purchasing the team from Kevin Guy, Kevin's like, here's a couple names. I said, no, I need like, I'm used to an Allstate. I need to interview like 4 guys. I need more people. I need to really get to talk to people. And Kaiser stood out to me so much just because not only, at the time of 25-4 as a head coach, had been our defensive coordinator, knew Tucson, but I've said it in other interviews, he's a great human being. I love the guy. I love the guy. I probably love the guy more than I should as an owner employing a head coach, but like, he's just a good dude. Like, I find myself like driving home at night going, I'm gonna call Kaiser. Yeah, I just want to talk to Kaiser. He's such a good human being. Players called him as soon as it was announced, and the IFL put up that cool picture of him like looking up whatever he was doing in that coaching picture. Players started calling him saying, I want to play for you. I want to come play for you. You're my guy. I want to be with you. Let's go. And so that was half the roster of guys, I think, calling Kaiser, just saying, I want to play for you, which is fantastic. Because imagine if we hired somebody and nobody called him. So it was great. He's a great guy. I enjoy him. We talk a ton. I don't know how much coaches and owners usually talk, but he and I talk a ton. I bring him with me to my business meetings with people, as I have, prior to the season, he's going to my business breakfast, business luncheons, and meeting the business community. I had him help with our food program prior to the season. If he's watching this, I will throw it out there again. I literally was crossing out fast food restaurants because I didn't want to feed junk to the players, but he added back some. So it's all right. It's okay. They got to have some junk every once in a while.
I wanted to, one question I did have for you, talk about your hands-on approach. I see you on the sideline. Like some owners, man, they just sit in the box, with their eyes closed. They don't even watch the game. But, I see it with, Jawad even here in Orlando, like being hands-on as an owner. How important is that to you?
I want to have fun. And I feel I'm a great leader, from the businesses that I've operated to my insurance agency that's, again, 30 years old and award-winning. Like, I want to have fun. I believe I can help shape the mentality of the team. I definitely, just please know, I do not get into the coaching side of things. I am not Jerry Jones. I'm a guy that's just running the front office, but I want my enthusiasm to shine through. I want the players to know the front office. I want them to know that the front office has their backs. I want them to know that I'm a real person. I've sat with my guys saying, do you guys want to talk money strategies? Do you want to talk retirement accounts? We are partnering with the University of Arizona and their Beyond Football program, and they're going to have conversations with our guys about what's after football. We are. I told Coach, we are responsible for these young men. We have them in our lives for this moment, and we got to make sure that we give them a high quality experience, and we leave them as better human beings when they go. So we're as an owner, I love people. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic, and I want that to parlay all the way through our team.
Edmund, when you got this team and you started seeing like the players trickle in and who, Coach Kaiser was getting everything, who's one player that stood out to you and said, that's the guy, like that's the leader that's going to be either on offense or defense, regardless of who it is, where you looked at him and said, that's the guy I want from my team?
This one might blow your mind because he's a rookie. Draylon Ellis, our quarterback. We put him on the depth chart in third. He's a rookie. The other guys had IFL and Omaha Beef experience, and I just watched him in the practices. He was at the front of the line. He was having conversations with the receivers. He was high-fiving guys. He was enthusiastic. He was very personable with me, with coach. He stays after practice and works with the guys. Like, he is an absolute leader. He was a 5-year starter, completed the last 3 years at Tennessee State, played under Eddie George, went to the HBCU All-Star game. That's a great kid. It's a great kid, and he has worked his butt off on the field. That kid's a leader. He's a very young man. He's a rookie. That kid is a leader. So very excited to have him on our team. I also want to just give a shout out to Ahmad Lyons, our defensive back, who's back this week. He's just, it's very telling. We had a huge kickoff, meet the team, season ticket holder event, which was super cool at a really nice place. It was kind of fancy. And I watched the team because we had a special table set up for him. And I really watched who mingled with the crowd. And Ahmad Lyons was at every table, like, how are you? How are you? How are you? It's great. So yeah, the fans love those guys, and the guys love them back, which is cool.
This is a really good question for you.
Oh, is this for me? Oh, I gotta read this. I got glasses on. Outside of the branding theme nights, what are y'all playing? Are y'all playing off the Arizona Wildcat connections? We are doing everything we freaking can to fill the seats and get sponsorships. I mean, our digital marketing, I think our digital marketing is the top in the country. We use a company called Lumify, and we had 500,000 impressions last month, and we're a new team. So people are like, I thought Sugar Skulls was a hockey team. That's what people in Tucson say. And now they're like, holy crap, I see Sugar Skulls everywhere. And then plus you got all the owners wearing our stuff around. So I think we've done a nice job. We're definitely getting out in the community. I'm trying to be more present in the social media as well, just to let them know the local connection. So we're working hard there. With U of A Wildcats, I mean, our athletic director, and I can say it publicly, she called me and said, I want to have a Sugar Skull section in Arizona Football Stadium. In a couple of weeks, I'm meeting with the front office of athletics to talk about a partnership. When you talk partnership and there are two football teams trying to raise money, I said it out loud to her. I know none of us want to trade money, so we're going to trade branding. But I think you're going to see Arizona Wildcats inside our stadium. We're massive Wildcat fans. It's got a tremendous base. Look what our basketball team just did. And our hockey team here has 2 years left on their contract. Our baseball team just non-renewed. We're going to be the only pro franchise in Tucson. Tucson's got 1 million people. So we have to partner with the University of Arizona and ride this thing all the way.
I thought I saw that the Roadrunners re-upped their contract.
They did, but they just added a second year.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And I love the Roadrunners. I wish they'd stay, but I mean, Morello owns them. He lost the Coyotes. They're going to go to Utah as soon as they're done building that arena.
Yeah, shame about the Coyotes.
It is. It is. There's so much, and there's so much to say that I would not say publicly, but happy to chat with you sometime.
I mean, I'm down for it being a Winnipeg Jets fan, knowing Winnipeg Jets 1.0 went to Phoenix. So
that's right.
I get you.
There's a massive, don't think desert and no hockey. Like, it is feverish out here. Like, there's like 6 ice den practice ice up in Phoenix. There's one being built right now here in Tucson called Mosaic Quarter, a 90-acre, $1 billion facility coming just down the street from our Tucson Convention Center. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, they always said Wayne Gretzky was a great, great coach. I'm kidding.
Valid.
But no, I appreciate having you on. My final question for you is kind of attendance-wise. I know it might be difficult, but what's a number that you hope to average for the rest of the season?
I need to get to the 3,000 mark of dropped tickets. So you have sold, you have comped, you have dropped. Dropped who shows up into your arena. Last game, we sold tickets, and then as they showed up to the arena, the Tucson home show was going on at the same time, and the Tucson Symphony Orchestra. It was hard to park. Trey, you probably ran into that. We're like, so I met with the TCC the following week and said, you can't do this. You can't do this. Like, we need to be more important than any other event going on in this arena. And so the rest of our schedule, we're not running into any parking issues. So we got to get to that 3,000 mark, which will be roughly double what they did last year. And that's a healthy mark. We got to make sure we're filling that TV side. We got to look good on national TV. If all 5 of us are on the same team, like, we need a successful league. And to have a successful league, you got to get butts in the seats so people don't tune in and go, why should I care? Nobody else cares to show up. So we got to put butts in the seats, and I got to get my rabid fans. You know, it's funny, and I don't know if I said this earlier because I'm brain dead right now, but our athletic director for U of A, she is so attracted to our rabid fans that are like screaming and cowbelling at the games. She wants them in the U of A stadium. That's part of our asset. That's part of our value proposition to U of A is create a wild Sugar Skull section in U of A stadium.
You know, a lot of owners out there, you know, they've accepted the fact that year one they're going to lose money. But one thing I appreciate about your mindset is you want to make money. You know, year one. What's your biggest thing, you know, trying to achieve that long-term goal?
I had a 3-hour finance meeting with my team yesterday. 3 hours with a CFO in the room and a controller as we analyzed every expense and we looked at the upside of what we can do with income the rest of the season. Our goal is to be profitable year one. I mean, I'm going to say this. I don't want to sound arrogant, but we don't lose money. So like, we will attack this. Imagine this. So people are like, why did you bring in so many partners with you? Because I can't do this alone. I can't be like the one guy saying, come to the Sugar Skulls game, please sponsor me. I've got 12 CEOs. So like, I am bugging them. And I tell them, if you don't raise money, if you don't do your job, I got another CEO who will come in tomorrow. I've got like 15 CEOs pissed at me because I didn't ask them to be part of the team. So if someone doesn't pull their weight, and they're all pulling their weight, if someone doesn't pull their weight though, we'll just get them bought out and bring another CEO in. Like, we're here to do this. Finally, as Tucsonans, we have our hands on a team and we have the chance to do something great with it. It's always been the Morellos, you know, Roadrunners, or a family out of Mexico owning the baseball team. You know, this is us. This is pure locals who love this community, and we need to make money. This is a business. It is a business, and the business is football. You're not seeing the Cowboys. Right? I can't stop. I gotta stop saying Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. I apologize for anyone that is on. I hate the Cowboys. So let's talk. I can't even say Cardinals. Damn it. I'll pick another team. 49ers. You don't see the 49ers just out there losing money, right? It takes money to make this successful. The more money I have, the more I can upgrade the team, the more I can upgrade the game day experience. Like, the more that we can market, the more we can fill the arena. It just needs to play. But what's missing right now is income from the TV money. We need that.
I appreciate your time. You know, it's great having you on. I look forward to making a trip down to Tucson and seeing the experience for myself.
Please do. You guys come down. You're welcome into our owner's suite, as Trey sat in last time. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, or now
it was fantastic. Yeah.
Good. So you can come sit in the owner's suite. I'm happy to meet with you before the game, after the game, whatever we can do to help you. We need more fans and people like you that love the IFL. So thank you for what you guys do.
Thank you. I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care of yourselves.
You too.
That was awesome. You know, I feel like owners like him are really what make the sport grow. And Trey, you know, you went down to Tucson. Like, you look at that experience. How would you compare it to Indy the week before?
It feels like Tucson is where Indy was before last year, where it's definitely trending in the right direction. But yeah, you could feel the excitement in Tucson, and the parking thing he mentioned, that was no joke. Like, we ended up parking. I was like, we can't find a spot. Like, this game's going to be packed. And then as we walk in, we're like, oh, there's 14 things going on. That's why. So yeah, the thing he mentioned about the cameras being on one side and like only seeing that half of the arena, that's 100% true. Like, that home side of the arena is where the cameras are. So It was really deceptive on TV, where you're like, oh, great, there's no one there. But you take some of those non-camera side people, put them camera side, it's an entirely different perspective. And I'm glad to hear they're making some of those moves to make it a little more appealing for that TV.
I mean, and you can even hear the noise to the TV. Like, the fan base really is invested. And I love that Tucson has their own ownership now. You know what I mean? Like, I love Coach Guy and everything, you know, he's done for the league. But it's good to see they have their new, you know, unique flavor, kind of.
They are their own franchise now. Like, they're not the little brother. Like, they're doing their thing.
Idea, right? Like, you hear him, you know, talk about private equity. You know, they're kind of the first team to really initiate that. Do you see more teams doing that, like, next year per se, in 2027?
Probably. It feels like we're going to be seeing and hearing some things probably sooner than later in terms of what that growth may look like. So it's going to be something where, like, buckle up. We're going to get some news here, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a Carolina team, so our next guest can be the head coach and win a championship in the IFL. But I'm really excited to introduce our next guest after this commercial, man. It's going to be great.
Omaha Beef Football, Pride Dancers, Rump Roasters, Slaughterhouse, are you ready? DJ next one. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse where we run it. Yeah, we really want it. Beef Nation got them shaking. Got a ring and we flown it. Prime chances be on it. I bet the competition's no opposition. We come to take and we done it. Ricky is the chief saying, let's go Beef. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Orange and Black about to win this. Defense stays on attack. You on our hit list. Blocking and jumping out the gymnasium. You want to see the best? Meet us at the Beef Stadium. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Let's go Beef. Orange Kingdom. Slaughterhouse. Orange Kingdom. Prime Dancers. Orange Kingdom. Let's roll, baby.
So I'm really excited to introduce the new head coach for the Wyoming Cavalry of the AIF. Coach, how you doing this morning?
You're ahead of me? I'm good. What's up, guys? How are you?
Good to see you.
You
So,
too.
my first question for you is obviously, this week it's been a little tough for you, but I mean, how have you been handling kind of all the emotions and the chaos per se?
I think you start in shock. I mean, maybe you call it the 7 stages of grief, whatever you want to call it. So I think I've been through every emotion you can think of. When I signed on to come to Omaha back in April of last year, I intended to be here for a very, very long time. But it's a results business. I cannot fault Ricky for deciding to go in a different direction. Whatever I did in the off season, was meant to lead to results in season, and nobody anticipated 0-4. I certainly didn't anticipate 0-4, and it's not just the losing per se, but I think the way we lost. So I understand the change, and as much as it hurt, because again I was extremely committed to Omaha. I understand it's a business. He wants results. He wasn't getting them, so he made a decision.
I've known you for many years, and I know one thing: you're not going to sit in your room and cry, right? Like you're going to make moves and make action forward and go on to this next chapter. So let's talk about this next chapter. What led you to Wyoming?
I didn't expect to get as many calls as I got so soon. I thought the world would give me a little bit of a rest, but I'm thankful that I've created enough equity to where people wanted me. So I just looked at the Wyoming offer as a market that truly wants some sort of successful professional team. I think it's a really good market. I think that they'll get behind the team. You can see their first game. They had, I think they were almost at a sellout, and I mean it's regardless of league affiliate. I think they want something there, right? There's not a ton of professional sports options in Gillette, Wyoming, or Wyoming in general. So, Dom gave me a great offer and an opportunity to not just coach the team next season, but multiple seasons. I will tell you, my contract is more than 1 year, and that includes the president's role, which allows me to ingratiate myself in the community and build the business up. And look, I am going there because I think I can provide credibility and legitimacy to the team and organization, and truly make Wyoming a hub for indoor football. So I was excited about the opportunity. Look, I'm going to Wyoming. Who would have thought that? If you would have told me 20 years ago, leaving New York City, that I would be moving to Wyoming in the next couple of weeks, I would have thought you were on some semblance of narcotics. But I am going to Wyoming. Here we go.
Yeah, I want to turn it over to Trey. I know you've been very active on Omaha Beef Twitter the past couple of weeks, so I know you got some questions.
Trey, I want to know, do you have any limitations? A graveyard emoji, dude, on my termination announcement? Come on, man.
What do you mean? What did I do?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, well, I mean, in truthfulness, when it's fun to, maybe not fun, well, fun, yeah. When you refer to yourselves as the New York Yankees of indoor football, when things don't go well, we got to let you know about it, right? So
yeah, I know. I earned that one.
Yeah, so in regards to going to Wyoming and the AIF in particular, what about it was promising to you where it made you want to jump on it and made you want to go for it? Is it the upside? Is it tell us more about that in particular? Because you said you had multiple offers. I would imagine that there were some other leagues and other teams that have been around a little longer that were in talks.
Yeah, so and this is with all due respect to the AIF, but this is one of the reasons why the president role was important to me. I'm not going to sit here and say that long term the AIF is the answer. I think if we want the people of Wyoming to get behind the team, we have to be in a league that's progressive, that is competitive, that is stable. And so the appeal was more Wyoming than the league, right? I'm not saying that Commissioner Foster and the AIF can't get it right, but I mean, look, I'm not a sugarcoater, man. So you gotta get that right. I am going to do my best to position the team to be appealing to other leagues, right? I absolutely am going to research the entry terms to look at some other leagues and see if we can get Wyoming there. And look, if AIF is the answer and they're stable and they're moving in the right direction and they say all the right things, then the Cavalry will continue to be in the AIF. If being in the AIF is detrimental to the team's growth, then we're going to move. And I was very vocal about that with Dom when I made the decision to go to Wyoming. And yes, Coach Davis, we're going to Dom and I are going to have a really good talk about his playing career and what we think is best for the team moving forward. Look, one thing I'll say about Dom is he wants to be successful, and he wants to be successful on a business level. And we had long talks about that. And I think he's doing all that he can and grasping at everything that he can to keep the team appealing to the community and the city. But yes, Coach Davis, I'm sure my goal is to put Dom in a suit and tie and sitting in an owner's suite like Ed was on the your previous guest.
Trey, you got any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I'll hop in here. So, I mean, touching on what happened with Omaha, in hindsight, was there anything you would have done differently, whether it be approach-wise, personnel-wise? And hindsight's always 20/20. But
yeah, I don't know that there's anything I would. I mean, obviously, I was never shy to tell you that our quarterback play, didn't help us. I may have went a different direction. I mean, you said it. Hindsight's 20/20. Look, I went all in on the guys that we brought in. I loved my look. I'm still in Omaha. I'm sitting in my townhouse in Omaha right now, guys. Let's not pretend that I don't love this place. I would have won. That's what I would have done differently. Look, if we're 4-0, even maybe 2-2, we're probably not even having this conversation right now. So, I would have done that differently. But look, I have no regrets. I've now been at two franchises that have given me two educations on how to move forward. I want to get back to the roots of development, and I'm going to go down to Wyoming and try to develop younger guys. I mean, obviously we're going to be dealing with some different financial dynamics and things to just move differently, but my first step is going to be to use the things I learned in Omaha from a business perspective and try to model that. You could bring me on 1,000 shows and I'm going to say the same thing. Ricky Burtz's business acumen and how he runs an indoor football team are second to none. So I learned a ton from him from that perspective, and then obviously from the football perspective, guys, when I get back on the field again, we got to get back to winning and doing what I love, and keeping the team aligned with the vision that we put forth in Wyoming to bring a winning franchise there.
I wanted to turn it over to Coach B, man. Coach, when we found out this news last night, we were both so excited, for Coach to get this opportunity. What questions you got? I know you got stuff.
First off, congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
I can't say much more, man. You always seem to find yourself in a good spot. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I know Trey asked, but I want to just piggyback off of it. The culture in Omaha do you think it's hard to be a coach in Omaha? Because if you look at it, you had a championship coach. He won a championship. He was let go. You had another coach won a championship. He was let go. You made it to the championship, and now had a slow start and was let go. What's the culture in Omaha? Is it hard to be a coach there?
Well, yeah. I mean, the expectations are high, and I think, look, if you don't want to coach in environments that are hard, if you want to coach in environments that are easy, then you probably shouldn't be in this game, because I mean, Coach, the indoor game in general, the industry we've chosen to make our profession is hard. So I don't know that there's an easy spot to go to. I say it all the time, guys. Coaches set the standard, players set the culture. So you try to implement standards that you believe are right. I'm sure every coach has a different philosophy on how an operation is supposed to be run. But once you implement those standards, the players are going to set the culture. And look, when the players are not winning in Omaha, they are unhappy. They are used to winning there. Minus what I've done to Ricky's record these first 4 weeks of the season. I think he's 48-12 since he bought the team, something like that. So they don't know any other way but winning. And so I think that when you lose, and how you manage that with that player group is tough. And look, I won't lie. I think part of the reason why a change was made is we were fractured as a locker room. We were not used to this. This is not what anybody expected. So keeping that positive energy and keeping the team motivated and making sure that they don't come off the vision comes with winning. And so it's absolutely hard, but that's okay. That made me a better coach. That's going to make Coach Loftus, as he embarks on this journey, a better coach. And Ricky's a guy of what's the word he uses? I don't know. When you compare it to look, he says if you don't want to sit at the table, things with the cards again. I mean, he's got all sorts of different things that he says, and he's right, man. Look, if you want easy, then no, Omaha's not the place for you. The coaches that have been let go previous to me, at some point, Ricky's visions may change, and just like his vision changed with me, or his expectations were not met. So he makes change, and look, kudos to him, man. He doesn't sugarcoat that shit, right? It's look, this is the way I want it. It's not working. Time to move on.
What's your I know it's like you said, you want to get Dom in the owner's box. I know Dom, that's gonna be hard to do, but what do you see your vision for Wyoming the next 3 years, and what steps are you going to do to get to that goal, and what would you do different than Omaha and your other stops?
So in the next 3 years, I expect the team to be in a league that's thriving and competitive, and I expect the team to be competitive within that league, competing for championships. I definitely learned that in Omaha. You don't go there. You go there to compete for and win championships, and that's obviously the model that I want to instill in Wyoming. But my biggest concerns are from a business perspective. Again, the nice thing about small tight knit communities like that is if you can get the whole community behind the team, that's going to drive its progression. I love what the owner from Tucson said about we need to get out in the community, get the community behind us, get the community invested in the team. I expect to do the same things in Gillette. Again, I'm real big on how I'm representing the team. My credibility in this industry is important to me. So, we're going to change any previous anything previous that's been said about Dom and his history and owning teams. Look, I'm behind this guy. I'm gonna be the backbone that he needs to grow his franchise, right? So those things are important to me. Look, let's just say it, right? If you want people to respect your franchise and you want your franchise to grow, the owner cannot put on pads and a helmet. So he wants to run a successful business. You don't see Jerry Jones or Michael Bidwell or Al Davis or whoever else was owning other teams. You don't see them mid season putting on pads and helmet, right? So I'm going to highly advise against that, and do what I can to grow his business and bring the community together. So that will make for a successful franchise. I'm sure Tony Thompson will tell you that in 2024 he would have much rather stayed in his owner's box than put on a helmet and pads and have to go up against CJ Kane in the Greensboro Coliseum. So these are things that we just got to do differently, and I think I'm pretty confident he's going to allow me to do things differently. But 3 years from now, the team is going to be in a competitive and stable league, whether that's AAF or the NAL or anywhere else remains to be seen. I'm not going to commit to any league until I see a league commit to the growth of the team.
Like we talked last night, we were chatting, and I told you one thing I can't say on air because I was a part of his regiment. I've never had a problem with Don Montero paying me. Yeah, so he always paid me, and that's one thing we was talking about. Like he might handle other things different, but when it comes to making sure your coaches and stuff is straight, I always was straight as a coach for him. So I can't say that about a lot of owners in higher leagues. When I was coaching for them, I wasn't straight. So one thing I can say, I know you're gonna get paid on time.
Well, and that's good because my food budget is important. So he needs to make sure that I'm eating well if he wants to keep me in Gillette.
Right. My last question is, I know it's a lot of bad blood in Wyoming with the sponsors and the fans. What are you gonna do to rectify and get them back on board to follow your vision?
Shake every one of their hands personally. I'm not going there to hide in an office or my housing or whatever it may be. I am going to go door to door, introduce myself, speak about the future, show them my resume and my history, and let them know that we're moving this team in a direction that the community can be proud of. I did that when I came here. It was right out the gate. I was out meeting people and out in the community. Obviously, everybody knows, that was never an issue for me in Carolina. So it's going to be the same, guys. Look, the only way to get past any type of bad blood or bad taste that people have is to get in front of it, admit what you did wrong, and tell them what the plan is moving forward to do right. Some people will get on board. Some people, will feel burned. I mean, look, you encounter that here too, right? So not every partner is satisfied. I will say that in Omaha, and you ask about things that I learned and what I'm going to do differently. I think sponsorship retainment rates around here are about 80% in Omaha. So if we can carry that over into Gillette, then that's a good start, right? But the reason why that happens is because you get out in front of things and you admit when you do wrong and you celebrate when you do right. And this is the thing about partnerships and sponsorships in the indoor game, right? There is some responsibility back to the partner too, right? It's how are you using the partnership to grow? If you truly want ROI, what are you doing, right? And so, like, one of the things that you get in a partnership is you get vouchers and tickets, right? Are you using them? Are you bringing your customers out? Are you bringing prospects out? Are you using them for employee appreciation events? Yes, most of the responsibility is on the team selling the partnership, but you also have to hold the partner accountable and ask them, did they use the assets and elements that were given to them as part of the partnership to make any attempts to grow their business whatsoever? And so I'll have those conversations too. And so I think that will be a good start. I know that one of the things that Dom and I talked about when I get there is we're going to start the renewal process. So the renewal process is shaking hands and thanking those that supported the team the previous season, right? So that's going to tell me kind of where we are, and then I'll go from there.
TJ, you got anything, or Cody?
Yeah, I just have two quick questions before I got to get out of here. Coach, good to see you again.
You too.
In terms of, I know it's still fresh, but with Omaha, what kind of baffles, what left you the most puzzled with your start? Maybe like a position that didn't pan out that great. Obviously, the quarterback situation you touched on before, or just really, again, just how things went. What kind of has had you baffled the most about it?
The turning over of the football. We were just so careless with the football, and specifically in the red zone. We just went inept in the red zone, and again, I take full responsibility for that. I'll admit that when you get into the red zone and you're turning the ball over and over again, and you're 2 and 3 games in, it messes with your confidence as a play caller. I think I did a lot of conservative things, especially the last 2 games, just because I was so desperate to mitigate turnovers and get in the end zone that you overthink it, right? And you lose your creativity, and you're just trying to get a freaking touchdown, right? And so I'm disappointed or baffled in that, because I'm as confident as the play caller as they come. So to see that version of me is disappointing. And then just look, I Omaha is not an 0-4 team. They're just not. I'm rooting for these guys. I want them to come out of the bye week just guns blazing and go on a run. And I was saying some things to the guys, before obviously I knew that I was being, moving on. God forbid they let the devil in the dance, right? Everybody's hunting for Omaha. This is like the joy of the NAL and the different fan bases across the league. They just love seeing this. Well, God forbid they let those guys into the playoffs, man. And let me remind everybody, that team is 1 game out of a playoff spot. 1. 4-6, 5-5, definitely 6-4. All of those records could possibly get that team into the playoffs. So if they let the Beef into the playoffs, I have no doubt that they're going to make life miserable for the teams that are above them, or the teams that are in the playoffs with them. But that baffled me to you. Just we're not 0-4. Like, that's not an 0-4 roster. Those are probably the most baffling things. And then look, I'd be remiss if I didn't say I hoped I'd got a chance to right the ship. I did. I don't want to say I'm baffled by the decision, because Ricky and I were always really honest and upfront with one another. I was just hoping I maybe got a couple more weeks. So, but again, results business, and we're moving on. We're gonna go do great things in Gillette.
And speaking of, that perfect transition, I'm not going to ask for specifics, but you said before how you didn't really get a chance to breathe after Omaha getting calls. How quick was the turnaround for the calls that you got?
I got a call 2 hours after my announcement came out. So I got a message in Messenger 5 minutes after my announcement came out. So, not every offer is the right one. I will tell you, I got some really, really good ones, and I want to say publicly to those that gave me them, thank you. I just looking at the different offers and where my head's at and what I think I can do for teams long term. I think this one's the best one for me. But it's nice to be wanted. That was cool. Just see, not every job is the right one for you at the time. But my hope is that I don't have to field any offers for a while, and I can settle in the same thought process that I had when I came here. What I don't want to be, guys, is this transient coach that every year is changing locations. I'm too old for that. I want to settle in, and I think Wyoming and Dom and the team there has offered me an opportunity to really settle in.
I'm gonna get off the show now, but thanks, Coach, for coming on the show again. And I just want to say, man, it may have not worked out in Omaha, but you're a great coach, even better person. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thanks, TJ. I appreciate your support always, man. You're a great guy, and I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. See you guys next week.
Coach, I kind of wanted to ask you, a lot of people don't really know this, but your first time coaching the indoor game was as a head coach. You went from the arena style to, the indoor football style. You wish you had a year as an assistant coach in the indoor style to kind of develop and learn the rules?
Maybe under the right coach. That wouldn't hurt. I love learning. I'm always a student of the game. I think it probably would have done me really well. In Carolina, look, when you build an assistant coaching staff, you try to align yourselves with guys that you trust, but you also got to look at their resumes and pedigrees. I think maybe in 24, when I took over the Carolina job, I might have been best suited, maybe bringing on like a veteran coach. Like, look, we'll go back to Tucson. Like, Coach Kaiser's amazing, and he knows what he's doing. But what I love about his staff is he's got Fuller on it, right? James Fuller's got 2 decades, maybe more of experience, right? Calling plays and offenses in both arena and indoor, right? So having someone like that on your staff, and I'll tell you, I'm probably showing my cards a little bit, but as I build the staff in Wyoming, I'm going to be looking for that, right? I'm going to be looking for a veteran presence on my staff that has a significant amount of experience coaching in the indoor game, whether it's on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. That's my quasi. I don't know if you want to call him Yoda or whatever you want to do. Somebody that I can really lean on and communicate with in those situational moments. I don't. There's no slight on any of my coaches on either team, but I don't know that I've had that yet, and that's by design. I pick my coaches, right? So, I'm gonna look at that. I think that would have been a great thing, Krish. Yeah. Again, you want to learn. One of the things that I've wanted to see our industry do, despite league affiliations, is just the league wide or industry wide coaches clinic. I don't know why and nobody's done it. I think it would be good just to get in rooms and listen to experts. I've built a relationship with Mike Davis, where I can call. I probably don't call him enough to ask questions and things like that. And I think a lot of coaches may feel that way, but we get in our egos, we get in our way. I know it better than everybody. Then it's bullshit. You don't, and your ego gets deflated real quick when you start a season 0-4. And so what do you do? You go back to being a student of the game. So yeah, I think having a mentor, having a Yoda, whatever you want to call it, would have been really good for me both times. And I plan on putting somebody like that on my staff when I start coaching the Cavalry in 27.
Cody, you got anything?
I just have one kind of silly question because everything else is already taken. But you said you're from New York. You've gone down to Carolina, from Omaha to Wyoming. You're following the Oregon Trail, so I'm only assuming that your next coaching position after this is going to be somewhere on the West Coast. Do you have your covered wagon ready?
Well, I'm a Bills fan, and they say circle the wagons and all that stuff is the stuff that they used to use. So yeah, I'm sure I have a wagon somewhere in storage that I can use.
Do you have a plastic table?
Oh yeah, I definitely got that.
Okay,
I
cool.
mean, yeah, we're in the indoor business. That's all you can afford sometimes is plastic tables. But no, I look. I don't know, Cody. You just said I don't know how the hell we got here, man. I don't even know what to say. When I called my mother and told her I was going to Wyoming, she's like, "What are you doing?" Like it's like, where did this come from? And so yeah, no, I'm. This is definitely not the path I expected, but let's go. Let's see what it is.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be honest with you, man, because like I said, I don't know if you remember, but I called you when you were the coach of the Carolina Cobras, and you were sending out Maine Mammoth stuff. So it's like I've already had that relationship with you. I saw you coach a couple weeks ago in Dodge City, so it's just like
Yeah.
seeing what you've been able to do, and now you're over here with Wyoming. It's definitely not what I or a lot of people expected, but I am curious to see how the rest of it turns out for sure.
Look, I think it's either going to go really great or it's going to, bomb. I don't do anything middle ground. It's either A or F. There's no B, C's, or D's, right? So, things didn't work out the way we wanted in Carolina. Omaha's business model is exactly what I need to implement here. So I feel like, look, you used the old cliche, third time's a charm. This is the third time. I want to do this thing right. I'm really, really excited about just creating a foundation in Omaha in Wyoming. I apologize, and sustainability and all that stuff, and modeling what I learned here in Omaha there. So I think if we do that, it's going to make for a great franchise with great fans and great people. And then we got to win football games and get in the right league that allows the football team to thrive. So all that hard work on the business side doesn't go for nothing.
Do you anticipate moving to Wyoming full time?
I don't know. That's a little bit of a culture shock right now. We gotta see first. I'm not gonna commit to moving to Wyoming full time. I Dom is gonna give me an opportunity to go visit my kids and grandkids and stuff, and I plan to do that pretty regularly. I'm gonna go there next week and get a lay of the land and get settled in and stuff. And like I said, get on that renewal trail. But it was already a bit of a culture shock coming to Omaha. Not that Omaha is a small town; it's bigger than people think. But I know nothing about Gillette, Wyoming, nothing. And so before I tell you yes, I'm going to move there, I got to do a little city tour.
But one question I do have for you is when does the season start? I know they're kind of on a hiatus from the AIF, but
Yeah.
when do you guys get started with that?
So they've got 2 games left. Coach Hamdahl, who's done an amazing job with the team despite some of the trials and tribulations, is going to coach those 2 games out. The first thing I'm going to do, guys, is find out what's going on truly with AIF and what the plans are, right? Because I do think there is some opportunities for some good things within there. Look, the Ironmen have found a way to thrive for some time and committed to AIF for a reason. There's the CNY Blue Devils, who I know you had one of the players on earlier today. There are teams in there that have their stuff together or appear to have their stuff together, and so I'm not saying that the team is not going to be in AIF. That right now that's what AIF is saying, right? So I gotta figure out that first. Once we figure that out, in terms of when the season starts, I think AIF started before everybody, right? So the season started March or early March, and my assumption is if we stayed there that we would. But look, the league put out a statement that the team is suspended for the rest of the season, right? So at that point, when that happens, A, you investigate that, and then B, you have to determine, what's best for the franchise moving forward, right? So if AIF is not committed to working with us to move the team forward, then I have to help Dom and the ownership look at other leagues. I have been blessed to be on owners' calls in the NAL with Carolina. I've also been blessed to sit next to arguably the best owner in indoor sports, who's a member of the NAL, and Ricky Burtz, right? So I'm going to publicly say it. If I can move Wyoming to the NAL in the direction that it's going, I will absolutely do that. Right. There's also the AAL. I see Ben McToy on there. He's heavily. I'm going to look across the league landscapes and find out what's best. I think we all know. I'm not calling the IFL, right? We're not even close to that yet, right? So, but we're going to look at what's best for the franchise. Look at the leagues. The leagues are supposed to be partners, not deterrents, right? So I cannot keep the team in a league that doesn't want to help us grow as a franchise, and so that's going to be my first go to as team president is to reach out to the people that I know and that I trust in these leagues to tell me what position they think we're in, right? And I'll find that out when I get there, and then I'll say, okay, so here's what we got. What do you need from us to be considered, league eligible? And then my job is going to be to get us league eligible, whatever league that is.
Coach, always great having you on the show. I appreciate your time. My final question for you is, at the end of the day, with the coaching change, that's still your team, right? So what's the message for Omaha for the rest of the season and your players?
I love you guys. I will never scoff at the honor and the privilege of coaching that group of guys. I hate the way that it ended. Get behind Coach Loftus, get behind Coach Kane, Coach Martinez, Coach Almendaris, get inspired, and win one game at a time, guys. Every game is a playoff game for you guys right now. And I remember us saying that at one point last season, and I think it may have been even after the Beaumont game, the first game that I coached that we lost, and then we went on a run and made it to the championship. So I think if they treat the season with the same kind of urgency, like I said, God forbid you let those guys in the playoffs. I would highly encourage the rest of the NAL to do everything they can to keep Omaha out of the playoffs, because if you let them in the dance, they're coming. So I wish them nothing but the best. I think Coach Loftus, this is long overdue. This is a guy that's stuck through many transitions of coaches and has been around the team and loyal to the team. I think going as far back as 2011, because he coached under James Kerwin, and he deserves this. And I'm excited for him, and I'm going to be rooting for them. Watching the NAL network like you guys. So that's my message. Ricky Burtz, love you. Thank you for everything you did for me. We still got some conversations and stuff. I mean, look, that's my friend, guys. He just wasn't my boss. That's my friend. So yeah, I mean, that's the message. Love those guys. Wish them the best.
Best of luck, Coach. I look forward to connecting with you here soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Trey, Cody, good seeing you guys.
See you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
See, that's amazing. He's going up to Wyoming, and the fact that he still holds Omaha in such high regard, it says a lot about his character, in my opinion. So, but I didn't want to finish our indoor football league picks. You were on the last one, Trey. You picked Tulsa, right?
Yeah, you know the answer to that. Let's not pretend you don't remember picking Tulsa.
Repeat it. I know you sleep in bed with Coach Marvin, so it's fine.
Okay, all right, here we go. I've been keeping a track.
I'm just saying, man,
Krish counter. That's number 2. I'm surprised it took an hour 57 to hit number 2. Krish, what are we doing here, pal? Like, talk me through your pick. Besides, take off your Boston hat, take off your Orlando hat. Let's talk the talk. Let's talk about this game.
All right. So honestly, I look at our defense and I look at TJ Edwards. I look at our linebackers, right? We got Breeny and we got Kari Coleman. Coleman only played, low percentage of snaps. We only got 5 snaps and he had 4 pressures. For me, having that speed, TJ can't move like he used to after the ACL injury. I think he would rush back because they don't have another option, suitable to start right away. So I think he'll be slow. I think we'll hold him in the pocket and we'll make him a pocket passer. I think we win.
Okay. We'll see what happens. Look, nobody is a bigger Orlando Pirates fan than me. I've been a fan since day one, okay? And it would break my heart to see that happen, but I just think Tulsa has the edge here.
He says wearing a New Mexico shirt.
That's right. Well, come on now. Our logo's sweet. We all know it.
The Indoor Football League has a lot of great logos, man. I mean,
Yeah.
sneaky S tier logos, and that's not just me pumping that stuff up, man. Like exquisite.
But make your you can make Jacksonville or Vegas. You know, your golden boy James Cahoon. Who do you got winning that?
No, please expand on that. Why is he my golden boy?
You just love him, man. Like you had him on the show. You said he's amazing.
I never said. First off, I'm glad I'm on the show this week because I can finally check you for some of the BS that you claim that I say.
He's about to win MVP or contend for MVP.
He could. He very well could.
No,
Given the offensive weapons that he has Jimmy Robinson at running back. He has a good wide receiver group. He's up there. I think he's a very, very good quarterback. And as amazing as you say that I say he is, he led the league in interceptions last year. And I think that's something that has to be considered as the grain of salt when you're talking about him. But so far through one game, he's taking great care of the ball. And this game against Vegas is going to be his biggest test with this Jacksonville Sharks offense so far.
So who do you got winning?
It's a tough one. That's why I picked the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, and I think the over is the safest bet of the 4 selections there.
I hope Coach Davis is listening to this, man. That's crazy. Vegas at home, banner night. You don't think they're gonna come out firing?
If you gun to my head, if I had to pick one, I would go Vegas. Yeah, I would go Vegas. Yeah, because it is banner night and all that, the home opener. But I think the over is the best bet.
All right, Cody, you make your picks for the entire.
All right, let's do it. To echo Trey, New Mexico, Northern Arizona, it's a toughie. Like you got two teams with their backs kind of against the wall. You know, I read Trey's article, unlike Krish, he's not his boy. But no, it's the panic button for Northern Arizona. If they lose this game, do you press that panic button? I'm not sure. New Mexico, they might have a little bit more grace being 0-3 if they lose this, but then you start wondering, you're 0-3 and you've lost 3 straight at home.
Yeah.
You're wondering, man. So for me, and I mentioned this in my offseason previews and stuff like that, like this is one of those games that could potentially be one of those springboards for one of these teams to have one of the better seasons. You know, I think I only have New Mexico at 2 wins and Northern Arizona at 3. This could be one of them. So they got to duke it out a couple of times. I think Northern Arizona takes it. I think the roster is there. I'm not sure about the depth when it comes to when it comes to New Mexico, but New Mexico has played some close games. And if it wasn't for like a, blocked field goal in the end zone that Tucson recovered or a kick return by Orlando, New Mexico, they've had opportunities to win these games. They just haven't done it yet. Northern Arizona, they've looked kind of flat. And this is an opportunity for them to, I wouldn't say get right, but a chance for them to, hey, we need to go out and win this. We'll see how it goes. I've got Northern Arizona pulling the upset because let's have a little fun with some upsets here. You're probably not going to get a lot this week, but we'll see how it goes. So I got the Wranglers going for the victory on that one. Iowa and Fishers, lay the points with Fishers. I mean, even if it's a 20-point victory, which is what they did against Arizona, and they still put up a 21-point victory. Iowa leaves a lot to be desired, and they gave up 23 points in the first quarter to Green Bay, and if it wasn't for a 20-point, 40 total point fourth quarter ruining that over, hurts me. But still, I don't see that happening with Iowa getting a 20-point fourth quarter in this one. I think Fishers can lead wire to wire. I think they take this one comfortably. It could be another 21-point victory. They cover. Green Bay and Quad City. I gotta go Blizzard. They should have beaten San Diego. Yes, Coach Davis, they should have beaten San Diego, but they didn't. I didn't say they looked bad. I said they looked flat. Mind you, I didn't say they looked bad. They've had mistakes, man. They've had a lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes that they need to correct, by the way. But back to Green Bay and Quad City. I got Green Bay. There's something kind of broken about Quad City right now, and it hurts me to say that, but I'm a realist when it comes to it. I will stump for the team, but right now, Green Bay, they look the part right now. And from what I saw live last week against Iowa, they weren't even at their best. They're having this deal where they're like, hey, we're going to get out to these really hot starts and then start to fade in the second half. I think they only got 13 points against Iowa until that 20-point fourth quarter for them. Can they go a full 4 quarters? We'll see. Quad City, they've been wishy-washy. They've had opportunities to win games against Orlando, but they've also looked really flat themselves against Fishers. They got off to a slow start against Iowa, and eventually they were able to, pull that victory out by double digits there too. So we just don't know the full Quad City experience. I think it's just more consistent with Green Bay. I'm going to take them here, but hey man, like I've said, if Green Bay wins, I win money. If Quad City wins, the heart is happy. So San Antonio, Arizona.
The emotional hedge. I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. I do it with Nebraska all the time.
Yeah. You're a wealthy man, I see. Yeah.
Not even, because I root for Nebraska and bet them too. Anyway, San Antonio and Arizona, like you alluded to, Trey, a pissed off Arizona team. I mean, a team that just got absolutely pantsed by Fishers, and they don't want to show their ass. I think this is a spot for Arizona to get right at home. Fans are going to be pissed off. San Antonio just walking into a trap right now. And there is a possibility San Antonio has to play 4 quarters of damn near perfect football. I just don't see it happening. I truly don't.
Yeah.
San Diego and Tucson, again, to echo you as well. I didn't expect this to be a toss-up. I expected San Diego to be favored a little bit, but it kind of shows you either how, I wouldn't say disappointing San Diego's looked kind of to start the season, or just how kind of good Tucson's looked. Granted, yes, Vegas, pants them too, but what they were able to do against New Mexico, it looks good. I still have San Diego money line here. I don't really know over under with this one, because you could get that where both teams are clicking on all cylinders. You could have it where we don't know. You could have a 4 touchdown performance by Edward Vander like he did against Northern Arizona. You could also have Nate Davis slinging it all around. You could have a good defensive performance from Tucson. It remains to be seen. Scrolling down, or if I can just remember off the top of my head, the Sunday game, Orlando and Tulsa. I have the under in this one. I do. I think both teams, it's going to be a slow start.
Man, y'all so full of shit. It's crazy. We're 2-0. You can't even show us any respect. That's crazy.
How am I disrespecting?
How is that disrespectful? He said your defense is good.
Yo, that's crazy though. Nah,
he said your defense is good, and you take it as disrespect.
I do. Yeah.
I'm picking the under because I think both teams are going to run the ball. You're going to rely on Puka Williams. You're going to rely on TJ Edwards and Jamal Bell and some jet sweeps and things like that, or fly sweeps, or whatever you want to call it.
Jamal Bell is 150 pounds. I'm not scared of him, respectfully. We'll break him in half.
Okay, they had a backup quarterback last year as their running back in Hassan Rogers. I mean,
yeah, but he was different.
Okay. I understand.
You're on fire, Chris. You've added 3 to the counter in the past 5 minutes.
I understand where you're coming from, man. The offense of Orlando started to click against Quad City. It did, but Quad City did lead 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. They had a pick 6 against Orlando's offense with Keyshawn Moore tipping that pass. There were some calls that Orlando had, whether it was that safety that got called back, that interception that got called back. Yes, the offense looked decent, but you've had 2 kick return touchdowns in 2 weeks that have helped you win games as well. And if it wasn't for Quad City trying to go for it and not trusting their kicker, there was a chance that game goes to overtime. Ben Derby missed 4 field goal attempts, and yes, some were kind of just glorified punts, but at the same time, New Mexico had opportunities to win this. You were a couple of plays from being 0-2. Call a spade here, man. We're being realistic with it. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case, but ball swings the other way. Orlando's not looking too hot, but they're 2-0, so I'm not going to discredit it. I have Orlando winning this game. I do. I think they go 3-0. They've got some sort of devil magic right now that I don't know. That luck might run out, but Tulsa only playing the one game, having the close games that you've had against New Mexico and Quad City, I think that bodes well for Orlando. I do. That means that they can play in some pressure situations. We'll see how it kind of goes with Tulsa. Yes, they did have a 7-point victory too, but at the same time, I like Orlando at home. I think they get the victory here. We'll see how it goes. And then final one, Vegas and Jacksonville, kind of the same thing, man. I like the over, but I'm going to go banner night, money line. I'm going to take Vegas just because Jacksonville's schedule, along with Tulsa's schedule, is 1 game in 4 weeks with all these bye weeks and everything included. how much game experience can you truly get? Yes, you have a lot of practices. Yes, you're able to gel and have chemistry and stuff like that, but you're not getting any game action. It's not going to be a blowout by any means, but I think Jacksonville's going to come in here. They're going to play tough, but I think Vegas, with what they've been able to accomplish, what they've done, I think Vegas eventually pulls out the victory here with that one. But I do think the over is in play with that as well. I think both offenses are very good. I think Vegas's defense is better, but that could help obviously bode well to the over, as it kind of looks more of like a 10-14 point victory for Vegas as they clip out what is it, 91 or 87? I don't know. Krish isn't scrolling down but yeah, I like that.
Yeah, 86.5 is very achievable.
Is it 86? Okay, I can't remember. Okay. So which one was 91? Because that was the one that was stuck in my head. That's
Fisher's. The Fisher's Iowa one is 91. That's the one I feel like is just overinflated due to the A++
Yeah, and again,
Fisher's played last week.
And again, the amount of points that Iowa has scored has been 25 and 39. So I mean, they can get there, but Fisher's defense, I think, is a lot better than Quad Cities, and I think it's a lot better than Green Bay's right now.
Yeah. Well, Krish, I want to flip the script on you. I want to ask you a question about the Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, of course.
In all honesty, have they been a good first quarter team this year?
No.
Okay, that plays into that's 25% of the game is the first quarter. They've gotten their stuff into gear in the back half of the game, but you're not going to be able to summon the devil magic, as Cody put it, every single game. Like at some point, you got to put together 4 quarters of football. 100%. And I think Tulsa's defense is a very good defense in this league. And if they can't get it going early in this one, they might be in for a long day.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help that Coach Davis just like to sit there and feed Eastern Conference teams his leftovers. So they have a D lineman from Washington State. I'm forgetting his name, but he's come from Vegas. He's a really good D lineman. So, yeah, you're right. But honestly, Trey, the reason why I don't think we've been good in the first quarter falls on our offensive line. I blame our offensive line. I mean, Puka is not getting enough space in the running game for us to establish a run game early on. That's why. That's my only. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think Orlando's washed.
Yeah, if Coach Davis is feeding all these other teams, as you claim, it shouldn't matter because the roster for Orlando is so good, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But
then why does that matter?
Well, you're acting like teams don't make changes. I'm sure there's pieces coming in with the offensive line. You know what I mean?
Okay, are you breaking news here? Is there something you want to share here?
No, I'm just saying, I know Jawad. I know what Jawad thinks, and I know, he's probably going to make changes for the offensive line.
Okay.
That's it. And traded don't mean signing people. You can put players at different positions, right? You talk about versatility all the time on your show. So stand by that.
Krish, what was your favorite part of the 2026 Leon O'Neal experience?
I'm not going to even engage in that. But no, honestly, I'm really happy for Leon. One player doesn't make a team.
All that stuff aside, going to the UFL is obviously what we want.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny. They made the graphic and everything hey, we signed him. Oh, he's gone.
I remember when he signed earlier this week. I sent Coach Davis a message. We have been talking that day, and I was like, I told Coach Davis straight up. I said, one player doesn't make a team. It's exciting to have him back, but we're not going to overreact. And I wasn't overreacting. I was just, I was happy for him, and I said, he's gonna. And I knew he might not even play. I was prepared for it, so I mentally prepared myself, and I told Coach Davis that too. So I'm happy for him. He's representing the Pirates at a higher level. So
just to confirm, you are going to hang the banner and count that as an Orlando Pirates promotion up to the UFL.
Well, yeah, I do, but only once because he moved up before. So
only once from before. So you're not double dipping on this one. I just want to make sure.
Only
okay.
Once.
All right. Thank you for clarifying.
So we have Coach Davis. What's good, Coach?
What's up,
Coach? Welcome on.
I mean, Chris talking outlandish, talking about that we're feeding the East. Everybody, you haven't seen us trade anybody to the East. We've released players and other teams have called. Just some teams think that they can recruit better, and then other people fuss when they sign somewhere else. That's not my problem. It's like, guys, everybody has pools of players. Like when guys get released, everybody gets the transactions at the same time. If you like somebody, like him. If he's not, he's not. But I don't know. It's Krish is on an emotional roller coaster this morning. I feel like.
Hey man, I mean everyone does have their own players. 75 wins in 8 years. So those are pretty good players for me. So I'm just I'm happy, man. You get these guys opportunities with other teams, but it's just crazy. Like it's all in the East. I've not seen one guy that you cut sign with the West Coast team. I could be.
Well, last year we had 4 guys signed in Northern Arizona, 2 in Tucson, and 1 in San Diego.
But why not?
Is 7 more than? Hold on, is 7 more than 1? I'm just doing the math here.
No, I'm saying this year.
I think it is.
This season.
Oh, this year. Okay.
Well, this year, 8 guys we cut are all playing somewhere besides one player. Like I didn't push them one way or the other. We flat out released guys, right? Ed Gatling ended up at Quad City. Newsy ended up in Tulsa. Jelani Baker ended up in Southwest Kansas. McLean's going overseas. Like, I mean, I could go on and on and on. Right? But guys have the same rights to sign players from anybody else's transactions, that it's everybody's privy to the same information from the league. That's the best part about this.
So you're telling me an offensive lineman signed with Quad City and a defensive lineman signed with Tulsa, that is a clear East Coast bias. And I am,
you know me.
I'm not for it.
Cody, sometimes you would rather help guys out so you don't have to play against them. Now, we still play against Gatling and Southern Quad City. I mean, we're not scared to play against anybody we release. I'm not worried about that, right? It's just it goes into it, right? There's also egos in this business where you think Kevin Guy's going to sign somebody that we released? No. Think Taylor and them in San Diego want to sign somebody we released? No, because they think they have better. Great. It's not a knock on anybody. It's just everybody has their method to the madness. And it's kind of like you guys. You guys want to write a story, you can have it, you can spin it one way or the other. I can disagree. You guys can disagree. But at the end of the day, it's your story, right? And people take it for what it is.
Right. But yeah.
But hey, why are you disrespecting Orlando when you say that?
I'm definitely not disrespecting Orlando. I mean, Orlando's got to worry about, they got Jacksonville next weekend. Chris has already counted. Listen, Chris has counted this as a win. Jacksonville's counted us as a win. They're ready for I don't even. It's not even I-4 anymore. It's whatever that damn interstate is.
Yeah.
The Orlando Jacksonville Sharks rivalry. They're ready. They might as well just play it tomorrow, and be ready to go. Because you listen to both teams and they both talk about Jacksonville Orlando next weekend. Like, hello, we got games this weekend.
I know.
Interesting.
And Chris says I know because he's heard it.
Of course,
right.
Yeah.
He's probably said it.
But that's why.
No, I'm talking about this is coming from teams. Has nothing to do with Chris.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but like we were talking about players moving up. Leon O'Neal. Like Cody, I know you're trying to diss at me, but I told Coach Davis can confirm, man. Like I was not excited when Leon O'Neal signed because I knew he was signed with the UFL. So.
He was never playing a down in IFL this year.
I told you on Tuesday, one player doesn't make or break a team ever. So,
but Chris did also say, "Hey, we got the indoor Deion Sanders back." Like he's excited.
There you go.
Like let's call a spade, right?
And a 24-hour victory lap. Yeah,
you should be excited if a guy like Leon O'Neal can join your club. Like that's an upgrade for pretty much anybody in the league. If you play it the right way, right? But at the end of the day, like one player doesn't make the team, right? And I guess you could say that a quarterback can make your team, right? Make or break you, right? Just like I expect, no offense, I hope he does great, but I expect Tua to be back in Orlando next week. And then let's see what really happens.
You mean Talia?
He won't be back.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say if they sign Tua, then I
say Tua because the only Tua we know. But if Talia,
they got 2 quarterbacks on the roster. They're not releasing him.
Well, unless you know something I don't, people say otherwise in the building.
We'll
He's
see
got to
today.
have a
4
he's
o'clock.
got to have a stellar performance today, or else he'll be back in Orlando. And then watch what happens. If Orlando's 3-0, do they go back with Talia or they stay with Paxton?
Man, Paxton's the franchise quarterback in my mind. But that's just me,
But when they signed him, Chris was like, "Who the hell does this D3 get?"
Krish, did you say
I did not say that. I said, no, I did not. I sent you a message and I said, we got the next Peyton Manning. That's what I said.
But he's from D3.
Krish?
From D1 FCS.
Krish, did you say that you weren't happy with Leon O'Neal signing?
No, I just wasn't overreacting. Like I was.
Krish, Wednesday at 8:45 a.m. We got Leon O'Neal back. Fuck yeah, bitch. Quote.
No, it was
Not
just a heat
excited.
moment. It was heat of a moment.
Not excited in the chat. Hashtag
No, not excited at all. Not
Anyways.
overreacting.
Hey, y'all get ready for these great games today because I think it's going to be some barn burners.
Who you got
It's
in
gonna be
the
fun.
A4, coach?
You know me, I will not say anything. But what I'll tell you is this, right? I don't look at wins, and there's like our staff, you look at losses, right? And if you look at the games today, right? Everybody in this league, if you look at everybody's schedule, they have a 4 to a 6 game killer stretch. Every one of us, right? So you look at, you start the first game, New Mexico, right? Like they play Naz today. And then listen to their stretch. They play at Tucson, at Vegas, at Jacksonville, Arizona, San Diego. Like, that's a tough stretch, right? You look at Naz today. Naz is at New Mexico. Then they play Arizona, San Antonio, Iowa, San Diego, Arizona, Vegas, San Diego.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has an easy route. And just like Tucson, like Tucson last week was a must win if there's ever been a must win for a game 2, right? Because they play San Diego today, which is, it's crazy that it's a pick 'em, but I understand why. Right. But then let's just say they get a win to go 2-1, right? For them, they play New Mexico next weekend. So they have to be riding high. But then they go San Diego, San Antonio, Arizona, Quad City, Orlando, New Mexico, Vegas, Arizona.
No, it's all brutal. It's all brutal.
Like we have a brutal stretch too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody has to understand, like, you have to take your wins. And when I say take your wins, if you're favored for the betting lines, you should win the game. Like, we all know that doesn't always happen. Right. But if you're favored to win, like, you need to put your foot on the gas and you need to collect your wins early because we all have a brutal stretch late. Yeah, we stumped our toe in Green Bay. Green Bay's turned out to be a really good football team so far. Right. It was a great learning experience for us. I'm excited to see how much better we get from game 2 to game 3 because you don't know what Jacksonville has. Like, New Mexico played or Northern Arizona played terrible against Jacksonville, but Jacksonville also imposed their will on them. So, you kind of figure out, okay, what's really the facade and what's true, right? And same thing with us, right? Tucson could be a really good football team. They hope they are, right? I mean, everybody, like, obviously I know Edmund was on here earlier. You talk about, they came out second half. I mean, we had the car in neutral, right? They got the 14. Okay, let's mash the gas again, right? Nothing against them, nothing against Kaiser, right? Because that's a young football team, and I think they have a young superstar in Drayden Ellis. Like, I think that kid can be special. But at the end of the day, for me, they cut their best receiver in Jerome Buckner. Like,
Nope. Someone getting a phone call.
There he is. Sorry about that. So at the end of the day, it's just, the games today are crazy. Just to kind of watch it. Obviously, we'll take one of them out of there, but the rest of them, like Quad City stretch. Like, Cody, I know you're a diehard Quad City, but our boy Ross is in for it. Because they got Green Bay, then at San Diego.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Iowa, Green Bay, Tucson, Vegas, Green Bay. Like,
yeah. No, like I said, I love Quad City, but I'm a realist at heart. That's a very tough stretch, and you could be in for way more losses. Again, there was a point in time where I was like, I don't know if this team's going to make the playoffs, but there's also the point in time in the offseason where you're like, this team's brought so many players back that they're just going to try and run it back. So do you err on the side of that, or do you err on the side of, I don't know how good the East is. We know how brutal the East is right now. At one point in time, if it's not right now, there's 4 undefeated teams.
Yeah, I mean, but again, when's the last time you saw no undefeated team in the West after week 2?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Right. So now the East will play itself out and go from there. But at the end of the day, it's all fun. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, and we'll go from there.
Can you give us your pick between Vegas and Jacksonville?
Probably the under.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
I mean, what do you think I was gonna say?
Yeah.
So anyway, y'all have a good one, man. We got to get ready for walkthrough.
Yes, sir. My boy Dante Lucas is ready for you, Coach. Yes, sir. Hey, Dante Lucas is man. Coach D ain't never seen an offensive lineman like my boy Dante Lucas, man. Left tackle for Jacksonville. Yeah, no, he's ready to go. But I'm gonna make my picks. We'll go to AF1 and then NAL wrap it up. But so I'm gonna go quick. I'm not like these two. I'm very convicted with my picks. So I know what.
Yeah, your picks. Your record isn't as good as ours either. So.
No, it is. I think I'm like 74% last time I checked. But
You're not. You're 8-6 on the year, but go off.
You had that documented somewhere?
What's that?
I said you had that ready.
Oh yeah, yeah. You go live on every single show. Watch back your own tape.
No, I do my picks separately. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So what you say publicly isn't what you parade.
No, I can change my mind. But anyway, so New Mexico, Northern Arizona at New Mexico, man. Northern Arizona, Ramon Atkins, he played his college ball down in New Mexico. So this is kind of like a homecoming for him in some ways. He played for Duke City as well. I like New Mexico. I think New Mexico they play a fast style of offense. That's partially because their offensive line is not too good. But I think New Mexico will come out and hit Northern Arizona fast and furious. So give me New Mexico by 5 points. Iowa and Indy. I like Indy to cover. I think Iowa is a team that can get in shootouts, but they can't complete the job. I feel like getting Andre Williams back in the receiving game is huge for them. That's a big plus, but they lose Khalil Finley in the secondary. And their defense is already weak. Their defense is horrible. So give me Indy to cover. Green Bay and Quad City, I'm going with the under 87.5, and I'm going Green Bay minus 2.5. So that's my pick for that. And then San Antonio, Arizona, give me the over 83.5 for that. San Diego, Tucson, over. Again, I'm going to go with over. Tulsa, Orlando, it's my favorite time of the week, man. It's oil up. It's my favorite week of the year, man. So
oil them up.
Give me Orlando by 3. We're about to go 3-0. So don't even play the game.
Diddy party.
Exactly. Jacksonville, Vegas. If Coach D doesn't win by 3.5, man, he has to sound the alarm bell. So give me Vegas minus 3.5. I think Vegas will win the game by 15, in my opinion.
All right, make sure you write that down. So when he changes it next week, you'll be like, I knew I had Jacksonville plus 3.5.
So now we'll go over the AF1 because I want to see your picks for this one, Trey. You haven't made any AF1 picks publicly at all. So
yeah, because there's no spread to go off of.
That's another thing. How can you go all off season and that's not like the first thing on your priority list? Like that's.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
How would you assess? How would you assess the offseason for the AF1?
For the AF1, I feel like it was 5 months of hibernation, and then in recent weeks they're like, oh yeah, season's starting. Let's start being active, which has been great to see, but it feels like they missed out on a lot of momentum that they could have been building up to kickoff here. But we're here now. Excited for the slate of games ahead. We did a full AF1 deep dive on a new show. I started with Adam Pelletier, Arena Football Weekly. Been doing that on usually on Wednesday or Thursday afternoon or evenings, talking through, some of the stuff that's happening on the field with these leagues. And I think this AF1 season, it feels like there's 3 tiers within this league. And each team can go in a certain tier. And it feels like, that top tier has 3 or 4 teams that can really, really make a run with it.
You can roll over and let Gary Compton know to get the social media more active. Anyway, so
expand on that. What do you mean by that?
Nothing. Anyway, AF1 picks.
Interesting. All right. Let me.
All right. So I'm gonna let Cody go first, man. What do you got, Cody?
I mean, buddy. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a slam dunk weekend because there's one game that feels like a toss up, but kind of not. If you're asking me, I mean, I got Albany, Kentucky, Washington, and Beaumont. Minnesota looks the part. We'll see what happens. Obviously, the Sam Castronova news is kind of a hit towards Albany. But other than that, I think Kentucky wins. I think Washington is the better team. Beaumont clearly is a better team. Is it Luke Miller? He had that tweet on Twitter or X, the everything app, where Oceanside and Michigan have not tweeted anything. There's no social media presence. Do they even have teams? I'm not sure. They've released the rosters, but yeah, you pick the home teams in Beaumont. So
yeah, I agree 100%. Just roster wise, and even losing Sam Castronova for Albany, I still feel like the scale is tipped in Albany's favor. But having Josh Kolka in their first indoor experience, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be a wild card.
Well, there's a couple of Vegas players that went over to Albany, so whether or not it's Coach Davis doing his, we're going to help the East again.
East Coast bias.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, because I know Kevin Toot went over there, and I can't remember the other one that went over there too. It's a defensive lineman.
Cheesy Umanakwe.
Yeah, that's who it is. So yeah, I mean, he's helping out Albany, man. He's doing it all.
What do you got from Michigan and Kentucky?
I agree totally with Cody's
Kentucky.
picks.
They've got the better roster.
Yeah, I feel like Michigan is on the on-ramp. Kentucky's on the highway. Yeah. I think that's where they're at right now. It's going to take some time for Michigan to get into gear and to get where they want to be, but Kentucky feels like they're built for week 1.
Oh, okay. Kevin Toot retired. I gotcha. Thank you, Weekend Arena Ball. Oregon, Washington. This is maybe a toss-up, but I lean towards Washington. They seem to be putting more resources towards it. Oregon, they could be anything. I'm not really sure. We've seen good, we've seen bad. Just give me Washington. They're the home team. We'll see how it goes. And then Beaumont against Oceanside. Beaumont as a team. That's all I really know. That's the extent to what I know. Beaumont moving up, yes, they're going to a different league and all of that, but I think Beaumont moving up, they want to compete just like Minnesota does. We'll see how it goes, but I got Beaumont winning that one. I don't know what Oceanside has. Good, bad, ugly, anything indifferent. I got Beaumont.
Yeah, fully agree there. I think Washington's going to be much better than they were last year, and I have serious depth concerns with Oregon, especially on the O-line and D-line, where Freddie Booth-Lloyd just went over to Oregon after being cut by Albany, so there's some reinforcements there, but it feels like Washington is just in a much better spot. And the fact that we get Oregon-Washington 4 times feels like Washington has to get at least 3 of those.
I want to add this too about Freddie Booth. He doesn't practice with the team during the week. So they fly him out for home and away. So that might play a factor.
That's an interesting way to approach it. Yeah.
So for me, I mean, Minnesota, they've done a lot of talking, man. I respect. I mean, I know he's your boy, man. Like you thought he was when he was coming up. You're like, this is my Lovie Smith, man. Mike Tomlin, Coach Tony O'Neill, man. Hey, Coach Tony needs to understand. He's the offensive line coach now, and it's not flag football. So they're about to get their ass whooped, and he should deactivate his Facebook after what's about to happen, man. And I don't know, man. I think it's going to be really bad. I respect Coach Speedy up there in Minnesota. They got a talented team. They spent money on the offensive line and defensive line. So there's nothing Tony O'Neill can teach the offensive linemen that they don't know. There's nothing anyone on that staff can teach a lot of those players. Darren Clark was teammates with Clarence Williams in Orlando, and Clarence Williams started over Darren Clark. That's just a fact. So it's a lot of connections with this team. I think Josh Koch is an amazing pick for Albany. I watched his film, 38 touchdowns and over 3,000 passing yards with only 5 turnovers in 12 games is quite a feat for me. So, I mean, I think he's going to ball out tonight. I watch his tape, and I think he's better than Tyler. I'll say that. But that's a crazy take on my part. So give me Albany to win this game. They win this game 65 to like 28. Yeah. So they get that belt.
Okay.
Michigan and Kentucky, my boy Malik. I really hope Malik Henry balls out and does his thing. I know he will. I talked to him the other day. He locked in, ready to go. But I like Kentucky to win this game. They don't got anything on that secondary, in Michigan. So give me with Isaiah McFarland on injured reserve. That's going to take, a big hit for them. So Kentucky by 10 points. Give me like 55 to 45, I think. Oregon, Washington, I don't know what to do. I really don't. I want to pick Oregon. I want to pick Washington. But it's J.R. Wells or a jump off a bridge. So I'm going to pick Oregon.
Wow. Okay.
I know you're bought in, Trey. You're like, oh, the new Washington, new this, new that. Like, I love Akil Greer. That's my boy. But all the Instagram stories aren't going to translate to wins. So give me Oregon.
What about Oregon's roster is better than Washington's roster in your eyes?
The receivers, I would say. I think
the receivers for Oregon are better than the receivers for Washington.
Is that crazy? Donovan Ollie, Chris Lewis, Maurice Ashley.
I don't think they're. I don't fully agree there. But
we're debating this. No, I have time. We're debating this. So why do you think that? Give me your reason.
Quintavious Workman, Akil Greer, they're going to be stretching the field. They're going to have a size advantage on every single DB that they face, and not one but two. Yeah. That's going to open up the field for whoever's in high motion to be able to do their thing underneath. So it feels like roster-wise, Washington is tipping the scales if you're going position group to position group.
Yeah, and Chris Lewis had the most yard per catch in the A1 last year. Like, he was good.
Yeah, I'm not saying he wasn't. I just think Washington's group is a little bit better. When you look at the O-line, D-line, who do you think has a better group?
O-line, Washington.
Okay. Do you think that'll play into this game?
To an extent, but Espinoza hadn't ever played the arena style. That's my thing.
Okay. That's fair.
He's more of a mobile quarterback, and they're going to try to turn him into a pocket passer. And I don't know how the offensive play calling has gotten any better. We haven't seen that. So that's why I think Oregon can win by 5.
That's fair, yeah.
It's close, though. It's close. I mean, you might be right.
To me, it feels like Washington's roster is just infinitely better than Oregon's right now. Oregon may have a if you're going position group to position group, they may have the advantage in one or two, but it just feels like Washington has far and away the better group. But yeah, they have a lot to prove on the coaching front, 100%.
Hunter, I agree with you. I agree. I think there's a long way to go for Beaumont and Oceanside. I think Beaumont blows out Oceanside. Oceanside has a terrible roster. Rudy Johnson, I know he's your Michael Vick. He's going to get destroyed. And he's going to get absolutely killed. So Rudy Johnson is not an AF1 style quarterback. And do you think he's an AF1 style quarterback?
I don't think so. I think he's a better passer than you're giving credit for, but I don't think that fits his skill set.
So yeah, I got Beaumont. Beaumont's D-line is one of the best in the country, in my opinion. So give me Beaumont by like 35, 40. And then I want you to drop your nuts and make the Michigan-Nashville pick because it's on Friday.
Michigan, Nashville. I'd probably lean Nashville. Just looking at again, week 1 for Nashville, it'll be week 2 for Michigan. Roster to roster, it feels like Nashville has the advantage. I am curious though what happens at the quarterback position, because Kolka's assumed to be the starter, but he's got some things going on in his personal life that may require him to not play. Right. So Josh Jones, presumably QB2 in that situation. Does he step in that? I think a lot will transpire over the next week or so.
Yeah, I mean, he knew he was having a son, early in the
Mhm.
offseason. So my question is, like, why not step away earlier? But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot we don't know.
And then the new offensive coordinator for Nashville too, with Steve Pappen. I know you tell us about Steve Pappen. I don't know much.
Yeah, Steve Pappen was a shifty wide receiver back in the day in the late 90s and early 2000s for the San Jose SaberCats, but under that Darren Arbett coaching tree. He spent the past couple seasons color commentating for the Bay Area Panthers as well. So he's never really been too far from the 50-yard game. But, anytime you have a change in coordinator, anytime you have a change in play caller, it can be scary. But I don't think Arbett would have brought him on board or brought him into the fold if he didn't think he was capable and had what it takes, especially in the arena game itself.
That's cool. We're going to take one more commercial break, and we'll do our NAL picks, and we'll get out of here. So, I can't believe they have a new OC, man. Like, that feels so wrong. They did my boy so dirty in Nashville.
That's the game, man. That's the game.
Nah, that's not right.
You hear that? That's football coming back to Louisiana. The Louisiana Rouxgaroux are storming the arena with speed, power, and non-stop action. Hard hits, fast scores, and an electric night out for the whole family. It all starts February 28th. 7 home games, 1 house. The Brookshire Grocery Arena. Tickets range from $24 to $34. Football isn't over. It's just moved inside. Scan the QR code to secure your tickets or visit LouisianaRouxgaroux.com.
So we kind of talked about the Omaha Beef, the coaching change with Coach LeGrone on. I mean, I want to go around the table real quick. Can Omaha rebound? Let's start with that. I know you have Trey. I know. You're on mute.
Why'd you mute me, dog? Come on, man. I think it's an even simpler question is, can they complete a snap from center to quarterback? I think that's step one. Because if they can do that, the sky's the limit with, as Coach Negron said, with the amount of talent that they have on that roster. But the quarterback position, they're going to be on quarterback number 4? If you're counting Tobias Taylor, 5?
5, yeah.
5 games into the season. Quarterback number 5 games into the season. That's uncharacteristic for Omaha. But roster-wise on defense, I feel bad for this defense because they've kept them in a lot more of these games than they deserved based on the offensive output. So I think Loft is getting in there. It's well-deserved. He's been there forever. But Krish, I want to flip this back on you real quick. You're obviously a lot more connected within the Omaha landscape, within the NAL landscape. You know a lot more of how that's going on. Do you think that was the right call going separate ways with Negron at this point in time in the season?
Oh man, they're really gonna put me on the spot like that. Do I think it was the right call? I do.
Because 0-4, honestly, it's something I don't think anybody expected heading into the season.
I do, and I'll explain. So I think, Ricky has a vision for the team, and I don't think that vision was aligned with the coach's vision for the team. And I think it would have only got worse if they kept him. Now that being said, I think the timing of it is kind of weird. The whole thing is weird. The timing of it is weird. I mean, I'm going to say one thing. I don't believe in Adam Loftus. Like, I don't. Adam Loftus runs a soft-ass zone defense. If you watch the film, it's soft-ass zone, man. Turn on the tape. I'm telling you, they put 3 guys in the box every play, and it's crazy. But I don't believe in Adam Loftus. I don't believe in Omaha. I know they got some good players on the way. I think they might go 4-6 at the best. At best, they're about to get boat raced by Colorado. I got my Spartan shirt on, so after they go 0-5, then they'll be able to rebound. But I want to make an announcement. I'm no longer a Beef fan anymore for the rest of the season.
Oh, come on!
Bandwagon until stuff has changed. So until they get a quarterback that I want and I like, I'm going to stick with my Colorado Spartans.
Dang, they flew you out. They put you front row. They fed you.
No, they're not.
Dang, that's crazy. The switch up is crazy. Well, here's my take. Fair or foul? Heron O'Neill in Salina last year started 0-4.
That's Coach O.
Things around. Should Salina have fired O'Neal when he started 0-4?
Coach O, bro. You're comparing Adam Loftus, who's never been a head coach.
I'm not comparing Loftus to O'Neal. I'm comparing O'Neal to Negron. Both started 0-4. One of them got a chance to right the ship.
Dude, Coach O won 2 IFL championships back to back.
Yes. Okay. So my point is, when you look at Omaha, somebody brought it up in the chat. Like, why can't they keep a coach longer than a couple years? Like, you look at Sioux City, they've had their coach for how long? You look at Salina, they've had their coach for how long? Like, what I truly don't understand it. Like, Krish, is there something that I'm missing?
I just think sometimes you hire people based on results, and oh man, Rick's coming. But I think sometimes you hire people based on results, and your personality might not intertwine. I mean, look, I can say what I want about this because we've had 10 different head coaches in 8 years, so I see it. I understand that. So, I mean, I ain't bluffing.
Yeah.
You know, we had different leadership change, and sometimes when leadership changes are made, it's because the owner and the head coach might not be on the same page, and it might be a time for a switch. Why would you want a relationship to get so toxic and vile if you can just end it? I think.
Fair.
I mean, Coach Irv in Sioux City, he's a staple, right? He's been there forever, but he's been able to fit in with the culture. I don't think they found a guy in Omaha truly that can fit the culture, and I don't know who that is. But it's not Adam Loftus. Definitely not. No.
Okay.
What do you? I mean, I'm going to turn it back to you since you want to put me on the spot. Like, what can they do to keep a coach?
Yeah. I don't know, and that's why I was deferring to you as the expert in the NAL space. You're well connected, and you have all these conversations where, to me, it's puzzling. Like, I truly don't understand it, and from the sound of it, like Negron mentioned earlier, and watching all the Omaha Beef weekly shows, it sounded like this was going to be the solution long term, and things got a little dicey here, and I don't think anybody in Omaha wanted the 0-4 start to happen, but I wasn't shocked, but I was surprised, if that makes sense, that they decided to pull the trigger midway through. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, because it seems like Omaha would be a destination for so many coaches that they would want to be there. And yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I would love to see a coach in Omaha for 4, 5, 6 years. That would be awesome. And to think about some of the things that they could do there would be great, but it just hasn't come to fruition over the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and I think this is a turning point for the organization, right? I mean, I think you look at, being 0-4, you got your back against the wall. You got guys on the field who you watch the film, like they've quit. They mentally quit. Mm-hmm. So how can you build that? If Adam Loftus, this is what I said, if Adam Loftus finishes 5-5 with the Omaha Beef and he wins a playoff game, you keep him. But if he doesn't, then he gets the door, like everyone else. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, okay, so I'm going to ask you this. If they decide, and you're very well connected in indoor football league, right? You know the IFL. Honestly, yeah. No, I mean that. You know the coaching staff. You know different people. If you were Ricky in the Omaha Beef and you decide Adam Loftus is not the guy, which he's not, who would you go hire?
Well, that's the thing, right? Where the hiring decision is a two-way street, where you don't just go get to pluck whoever you want.
But if you could, if you could, and be realistic. I know you know a lot, so.
I don't know. I'd honestly have to think about that. I don't have a good answer at the hip for you. But yeah, it feels like Omaha would be a destination as one of the premier gigs in the land. Cody, what do you think? What do you think here?
See, that's where it gets tricky, because you're in this spot right now where you have an interim head coach. You need to see how everything else plays out, because with the IFL, the NAL, AF1, all these other leagues, if things don't work out with some of these coaches, they could see the pink slip as well, and Omaha could be like, let's snatch him up. Let's do this or that. So it's like, yeah, you can obviously rule guys out. Kevin Guy's not going to Omaha. Rob Keefe isn't going to Omaha. I mean, some of these guys you can honestly rule out, but like for the most part, you're kind of wondering, who do you go get? You know, I don't know. I don't have anyone off the top of my head. You know, you're not going to go get Rayshon Kaiser. You're not going to go get Taylor Jenniser. You're not going to go get Coach Negron. So your options are already kind of limited when it comes to this. But at the same time, like you're alluding to, it's a destination spot. They have a culture of winning. They have a culture of championships, or getting to the championship at least. And, you know, they have what is already in place. They have the structure there. Is it more of a plug and play, or is it more of a, hey, we're going to get this guy to be here for a long time? So it remains to be seen. Like you, I don't have anyone off the top of my head, but I know that there are some, obviously some coaches you think about where you're like, they're not leaving. So it kind of really, like, it doesn't like dumb down the pool a little bit, but it does, like, hey, here you go. Here's your pool.
I like this. This was my idea too. I want them to hire Coach Menaz. I'm telling you, Coach Menaz would bring an energy of discipline. Coach Menaz and Ricky would get along so well. I'm telling you, they're like meant for each other. It's destined. So please hire Coach Menaz. Like, I want that next year.
All right.
Go get Coach
Yeah,
Menaz.
I like that.
I mean, you would get down with that, right?
Yeah, I think that it sounds like it would be a good fit.
I mean, they're not going to win a playoff game this year, so you need someone who's coming off a kind of a bad rap too, and they both have bad taste in their mouth, so they can go do something special, right?
Mark it down.
That's not a bad thing. It's real. Like,
That's the counter. You're already marking it like they're not going to win a playoff game. Like, you don't know that. They could rattle off wins, man.
Nah, I mean, it's not.
Anything can happen in the playoffs. You don't know.
They're not. How much you want to bet they're not winning a playoff game? Like,
I'm not going to bet anything because I'm not an Omaha fan.
Bet it. No, but you can't say something and not bet it. I'll bet you 100%.
I'm sorry, I denounced my Omaha fandom like 10 minutes before you did.
Nah, man. Like, my smart is locked in, man. We're about to go on a run. But anyway, NAL picks. So, Southwest Kansas and Sioux City. I like Southwest to win. I think Coach Thomas and them have been on a heater. And I will admit, unlike Trey, I can admit when I'm wrong. Southwest Kansas, I was wrong about them. I thought they were going to be, I didn't think they were going to be good. I thought they would be good, but not as good as they are. Let me just say that. They have all the momentum. Matt Stuck, man, he's been balling out. I got to give him a lot of credit. Pueblo will, completely steamroll Louisiana. Colorado will do the same to Amarillo. Colorado is going to have a field day, man. It's going to be fun. We're about to win. We're about to go 2-3. Excited for that. So, anyway, Louisiana and Dallas. No, that's what? That's a mistake.
No, that's next week.
No, I'm lying.
Yeah, there's only 3 games this weekend.
Only 3 games. Okay, you go. Okay, make your picks, Trey and Cody.
Yeah, I like Southwest Kansas as well. What they were able to do on the ground has been really impressive. Matt Struck still figuring things out through the air in that offense, but I think what they have combined between running back and quarterback, 7 rushing touchdowns last week. So they find a way to get it done. So I like what Southwest Kansas has been doing, and gearing up for a Kansas clash in a couple weeks between Southwest and Salina. That's going to be really fun. Yeah, and it feels like all the home teams are the move here, with Pueblo at home, Colorado at home, Southwest Kansas at home. It just feels like Pueblo, they're going to be on their revenge tour stuff, and after suffering their first loss last week. And Colorado, they got to right the ship. Like they've taken on a few too many losses than I think they'd be happy with at this point. Well, nobody would ever be happy with any losses, but Colorado's got to start stacking up some wins, and I think it starts against Amarillo.
Hey, Ricky, if you hire Coach Menaz, I'm back on the ship. That's one bet I would deliver on. What about you, Cody? What do you got?
Well, so add the 5th team back to your fandom. Anyway, it's the same thing. It's all the home teams. You know, Southwest Kansas, there could be the jump scare. Sioux City could pull the upset, which I'm not ruling it out. But as a day one Southwest Kansas fan from like 2 weeks ago, like they look good. They obviously look good when I was there. They've looked good in the previous week and stuff like that too. I like what Southwest Kansas has been able to do. And sneaky pick, man. I don't know. Sioux City could pull it. I think Southwest Kansas at home, they've looked really good at home. We'll see how it kind of goes. Is it Pueblo? They're going to go. Simple as that. Yes, back and forth against Salina last week. Salina pulling out that victory, but that's nothing to hang your head or anything. Bump in the road. Pueblo is going to obviously get back into the winning column with this one. And then finally, I mean, to Trey's credit too, Colorado's got to stack up some wins. Could Amarillo pull the upset? Potentially. But I think this is a spot where if Colorado wins this one, it's a thing where it's like, okay, maybe the season's not in peril and we can start stacking these wins. Like, again, Trey alluded to there. If you get that win, I wouldn't say sky's the limit. It's not you're going to go undefeated the rest of the season, but at the same time, you look at that going, all right, we are in a good spot here for the playoffs and anything beyond that.
Yeah, top 6 make the playoffs. Like, you don't have to be a world beater to make the dance, right? You just got to stack up a couple, and you got to get these wins like this one against Amarillo.
So Ricky says, we don't want you on the ship. Fairweather fans need not apply. I think he owes you breakfast. I think whatever receipt you kept, I think Krish has to pay that back.
Yes.
I mean, that's what you get for getting the breakfast sampler from IHOP. I mean, that's $15 or something. Inflation's crazy.
Man, look, it's a long season, but I said I made my decision for the rest of the season. I'll be, cheering from afar. Like when they play Dallas or Amarillo, I'll support, right? But I'm cheering from afar. Like, I need to do it for my health too. So I need to cut ties. So no more beef for me. But yeah,
awesome.
And no, one thing I want to know about you, Trey, is you have a lot of influence in the sport. I haven't seen you pick one team or be a fan of one team. Like, who is your team? You don't have one?
Yeah, I love the sport. I love watching these teams compete. I'm an Orlando guy, so I'm naturally gonna want the city of Orlando to be well represented, but I love the sport as a whole. I'm not gonna let my biases impact my decision making like some other folks.
I mean, you can't hop from dick to dick, man. Like, pick a team.
Dude, I mean, do you not see the stuff that he posts on social from back in the day about all the Orlando Predator stuff and the war on I-4 and everything? Like,
yeah, but
true blue Orlando.
I've been going to arena football games before you were born, Krish.
I understand that, but like, who was your team? Orlando Predators?
The Orlando Predators. Yes.
So get Pirates merch, jump on the ship, like, be a fan.
I enjoy the sport of indoor and arena football. I have an Orlando Pirates polo, which you slandered me for wearing last week. So I didn't forget that. So even when I do get an Orlando Pirates gear, I get slandered for it. So I'm in a no-win scenario here, Krish.
No, I just want you to pick a team and ride with it throughout the whole season because I think that will make you happy. I think if you I saw you celebrating Coach Davis in Vegas. Like, I thought you were a Vegas fan. You were in tears. You were
because I picked Vegas from before the season and they won the championship. I picked them wire to wire. So yeah, I was happy that I was proven right. Hand up. That's on me. I was happy that my preseason pick was accurate. That's on me.
I know who picked Quad City and San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
So that's documented. So,
100%. Yeah, all my stuff is documented. I don't do this behind the scenes, air quoting a 74% number every opportunity I get. That's not how I play.
Okay.
You might not know this, but Trey's been watching arena football since you were born. He's actually 78 years old. I mean, he might not look
78.
But he is old.
Yeah, I was there with Jim Foster when he was writing it down on the napkin, and I was hitting retirement age then. Yeah, I'm gonna tear my face off like Scooby Doo. I am Jim Foster. Yeah.
No, to Adrian's credit in the comment, you have to be neutral whenever we do this. You can have your teams, like he says, but you got to be neutral. It's as simple as that. I love Quad City. I even like Southwest Kansas now, but at the same time, I'm not going to let that stuff influence me. I'll talk about it and have the fandom kind of show, but at the end of the day, if you're talking a game between this week, Green Bay and Quad City, you got to talk it as objectively as you can. You can't.
I still can't believe you're
Quad City's
betting
going to
against them.
dominate. You can
Like
make
you're
the
putting
jokes,
your money against your team. Can you believe it? You're betting against your team.
but you have to also understand
Yeah.
that if you really want to go that route, look behind me at the two teams I rooted for before Quad City. They don't exist anymore. And that's where Trey's kind of at right now with the Predators. Like, I'm sure he was a huge Predators fan, but they don't exist. So where do you jump on next? You can't just immerse yourself fully in. I wasn't a 100% diehard Quad City fan right off the bat. I was like, hey, let's watch this team, and went, all right, I like them now. And the more you started watching them, the more you're like, sweet. But that's the other downside in this sport is you don't know how long the team can last, because when you hit your wagon to, could be dead next year because they didn't pay their bills. So
I can get down with that, but no, I appreciate everyone watching the show. We will have to settle this debate another time because I find it very interesting. Like,
The guy who just abandoned his Omaha Beef fandom is telling me to stop hopping from D to D is crazy. That's crazy.
I was never a fan. I was a supporter.
Oh, okay. We're getting into semantics now. Got
A
it.
fan is someone who died.
I'll go through the group chat.
I was a supporter.
Yep.
I'll go through the group chat.
Yep.
So I never said, but I've always supported the Spartans. Ever since they signed Paxton Lynch, I said our owner, Tony, is committed to winning this year. So
Hour?
Hour's
crazy. Okay.
Remind you, for Orlando, he's got the captain and the owner, or whatever he calls them.
The fearless leader and the captain.
There you go, like North Korea. The fearless leader.
I know we ran the train on you, but you still gotta know your facts. So, but anyways, so you guys got anything before we wrap it up?
I mean, I'll shamelessly plug my stuff. I've got the Week 5 Saturday preview coming out here soon, and got to finish editing that and get it out. So go watch it or don't. I don't care. But I do like that because it means that you guys like my stuff, and that's cool. But other than that, not really much. I'm just excited to sit on my butt later in the evening and watch a whole bunch of indoor and arena football.
What about you, Shay?
Yeah, we're going to have some multi-screen action going on. It's going to be very exciting. Latest episode of Off the Wall, we had Evan Lewandowski from the Salina Liberty QB1 on the show, talking about his football journey through college, going over to Europe, playing in Italy and Germany, then coming back to the States to play with Coach O'Neill on Salina. So very fun conversation with him. I'll be out in San Diego next week for Quad City versus San Diego, so make sure you're tuned into the socials. Going to be documenting the journey there. It's going to be a very fun time. So let's enjoy this weekend of football ahead of us and don't take it for granted because it'll be gone before we know it. So IFL, NAL, AF1 kicking off their season. It's going to be a fun time. Let's have a day.
I meant to ask you guys, who do you guys have winning MVP in the NAL? Since we're halfway through.
In the NAL?
Yeah.
I'd probably go Josh Hollins right now, just because he's been elevating that Pueblo team so well. But I mean, we're almost at the halfway point, right? So it feels like Josh Hollins is the clubhouse leader now.
I mean, you can do a dark horse Matt Struck if he continues his success, but for the most part, I mean, Hollins probably has it right now.
Yeah, I would like to say Struck too, but he turned over the ball too much early on. So Hollins, I mean, you look at 23 total touchdowns in 5 games, only 4 interceptions, and that's consistency. He leads the league in passing yards by a wide margin. So I find it very impressive. But it's going to be good, man. And enjoy the show tonight. We got a big game against Tulsa tomorrow. Excited to be 3-0, and just enjoy the sport. Like Trey said, the fact that we even have AF1, after this offseason is a big deal. So, support the league, and I'm excited to see all the leagues grow, and what they got going with Yahoo Sports and Overnight and all these things. Like the streaming is a new day. So that's my spiel on it. But I appreciate you guys, for watching. I appreciate you, Trey. I know I give you a hard time, but I got a lot of respect for what you do, and I can't wait to see you in person in 37 days. And
who's counting though? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I am. I can't wait to see Coach Davis, man. I got my belt ready to go. But what?
Right at the buzzer. Right at the buzzer. You got one more, man.
Shout out to Pro Level Sports Combine too for having a guy Shady. He came a long way from the food bank in Southwest Kansas. He was to go get a real food and real experience it down in New York. So I'm happy for him. But to be fed, and they've taken great care of him down there, man. He has his own hotel room. I heard he's sharing a room with a CFL scout. He's sleeping in bed with them. But I'm excited for him, and if you get the opportunity. And then shout out to Columbus Lions. They start the season on Thursday, so I'll get the Tri-City River Gators. So it'll be a big opportunity to watch them kind of take on this new challenge in the new league. So that's all. But anyways, guys, appreciate you watching. See you next week, and go Orlando always.
I'm a game changer.